And hello everybody, it is Ewu back with another MCS day of action. We have Premiere today, and joining me in the booth for his first time casting is Kato Mac. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm excited to cast. My first time. It's going to be interesting. Today we have a pretty awesome matchup. We have the St. Paul Senators versus the Mankato Atlas. I'm super excited to see this matchup because actually it is my two college teammates playing against each other, Sean and Fusion Bleach. So I'm super excited to see this matchup. Sadly, Sean and Crispy do not have their first round pick. He is not able to play at the moment, so they have Nick replacing him. But either way, I believe it'll still be a very close series and a good matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Always bringing a sub up. It's gonna be a bit challenging to see how he fits in with the team. But St. Paul coming off a 2-3 loss last week, and Mankato coming off a 3-0 sweep. So, momentum should maybe favor Mankato a bit, but still, it's a brand new week. And I'll start my prediction off. I'll take the upset. I'll take St. Paul winning this one in 4.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just not feeling the upset. It's just Ambrosia, or Johnny Law now, and his teammates Fusion Bleach and Night Fang. They just looked so solid last week. I don't know if they're going to be able to. I don't know if the St. Paul Senators are going to be able to do much against them, but we'll see how they do with their sub.
Yeah, we will see. And speaking of, we have all the players in the lobby. We're about to get it going. Game 1 of a potential 5 between Mankato and St. Paul, starting shortly with all the players.
Yeah, if everybody
join
is here. Are we missing somebody?
I
think we are. Who is it? Oh, Night Fang. Well, he should be in here shortly.
It can never be easy, can it?
No, it cannot. But I'm sure we'll get started here shortly. Some technical difficulties on Night Fang's part.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Now we are starting this match.
Yep. All right. So we have split our predictions down the middle. To be fair, my predictions have not been very good this season. So we'll see. But Ambrosia, or I don't even know what to call him. Everybody calls him different names, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, good infield pass down to Fusion Bleach, who was cut out. I think the biggest thing will be to see how Nick plays a challenger sub up. Not sure he has any Premier experience, but I mean, coming from a lower tier, you've played in Premier before. Even having it this season, what are like some key differences that you?
Oh, wow. Ambrosia or Johnny Law coming out strong from the gate, but I watched last week's game, last week's series, and Nick did play pretty well and actually played from Premier pretty well. So I believe that they'll be able to come out here and still perform and make this a close series either way.
Yeah, for sure. But 30 seconds in, Mankato already taking the lead. The flick is on. It's just high. Fusion Bleach couldn't get it. A little bit of a double commit. Crispy with the pinch out. Look for the touch on the wall. And the speed from Mankato early has really, I think, caught St. Paul off guard just a tad. Fusion Bleach looks for the double, won't find it. No one middle for the moment. Crispy can bang away. Night Fang too far pushed up. And it's just an easy goal for Crispy.
Yeah, Night Fang just caught out here. He started driving up his third man a little bit too far, and Crispy was able to sneak that one into the goal, and there's just nothing that the Mankato Atlas could do to get that one out of their net.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of overconfidence from the Mankato side. They definitely like to play offense a bit more than defense. Feels like we've been on the St. Paul side the entire game, even with the goal coming in. Night Fang up early for that. Good speed there from him. Looks for the 50. He'll get it. Fusion in the middle. It's a missed touch from Sean, but Night Fang gets a good bump to save it.
Yeah, good control by Sean. It looks like Crispy's going to have an easy save here. He pops it up. Johnny Law up for the block. There's not much for defense right now on the St. Paul Senators side, but they get back to it. I do agree the Mankato Atlas have had pressure for most of this game. The St. Paul Senators are struggling to get the ball out of their half, it seems, but it's a good air dribble here by Crispy to get it downfield.
Yeah, Crispy's kind of been the guy for St. Paul at the moment. A good shot from Fusion Bleach. Crispy, another save. He's been everywhere for St. Paul, but the net's open. Can Crispy get back? He will not. Night Fang slots it home. And I just don't know where I just don't know where the follow-up challenge was from St. Paul. Crispy just last back there the entire time. I don't know. Unfortunate from the defensive side of St. Paul.
Yeah, it seemed like Crispy got a few saves there in a row, but there's just nobody really to help him at the moment. Knife Thing ended up sinking that one away. But Fusion Bleach with the good shot here, not able to sink it. And Broshi with the miss. This is gonna be a good counter attack for St. Paul Senators. A demo coming on Crispy though. Oh, and Nick finishes the goal. That was a good transition play by the St. Paul Senators.
Yeah, definitely. Sean with a good flick towards the middle. Nick slots it home right behind the defense. It was a good demo actually to cut out some of the pressure in the beginning, but still no one was watching the infield pass. And St. Paul giving Mankato a run, even with, I feel like the field possession game has been all Mankato. The counter attack has been working for St. Paul. I think that's what they got to keep relying on when you are, maybe down a player in skill level with Nick being a challenger sub up.
Yeah, I mean, even though they've been trapped on defense, it still seems that, they're able to make it work with the counterattack here. They're playing calm on defense and just, playing into the hands of Mankato Atlas here, but it's seeming to work out pretty well in their favor so far. Some, misses and some whiffs coming out from both teams at the moment. We'll see. There's a good chance for a play here if Knifing can sink this one in. Close. Fusion Bleach almost with the dunk. Johnny Law up now. Johnny Law sinks that one in. What a good shot placement by Johnny Law.
Yeah, just great offense from Mankato there. It's a great touch from Knifing. Almost had the double. Fusion forces the 50, and nobody stood a chance for St. Paul. Just dead to rights in the net, and Johnny Law is going to sink that one every time. I do think Mankato, they've whipped the ball a couple times, just maybe playing a bit too fast, trying to outpace everybody when I think they are the better team. And we'll see. Maybe that allows St. Paul to score another counterattack goal. But Night Fang, ever since that first goal, I think he's really stepped up. Definitely the factor for Mankato so far in game one.
Yeah, I do have to agree with what you said earlier about, Mankato Atlas coming out here strong with most of the offensive pressure, but we'll see if that gets the best of them and, they get too aggressive and end up getting scored on because of it, like we saw earlier in the game. Either way, it's 2-3 here with a minute and 40 seconds to go, and it is looking to be in the favor of Mankato Atlas.
Good. I guess that was a fake from Fusion. Just went underneath the challenge. Knife Aim looking for the double again. He gets the bump. Ambrosia not in the position to shoot it. Johnny Law off his backboard, passes back. Sean will catch it in the midfield. Gets bumped off of it before he could honestly start anything. And, St. Paul's going to have to start again. Nick a good 50. One to beat. Johnny Law will get the touch, but it's not a great one. Sean is up for the shot, and Sean buries it to tie it with a minute left.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about with them getting a little too aggressive. Johnny Law being the last one back there and just does not get the touch that he needs to get. And Sean was just there to capitalize off of it. It was a good play by Sean to play up there and capitalize off the mistake. It's looking like a close game here. 3-3, just barely over a minute left to go. And here is the kickoff. Nick starting up the wall. Gets the touch out. It's going to be a good save by Johnny Law. And now Mankato Atlas controlling the ball. Let's see if they can get a play going. Nick stops that one, but it's going to be an easy save for Fusion Bleach. And now Johnny Law off the wall. Hits a backboard. And missed off the backboard by Crispy. Let's see if they can keep the pressure up here to get a goal here again. Good 50 by Sean, but nobody there to follow it. They get the touchdown. This looks like it could be a transition goal. There's not much of defense. Crispy's going for demos. And I think it's a touch to the corner.
Yeah, it was a good chance, and it all rattles off the crossbar. Nick will bang it off his own corner. Right back to Sean again. No. And, dude, I'm lagging out. That's really cool. Anyways, Sean will pitch it off his own wall. Sends it back downfield, and it seems that St. Paul might just be content playing for overtime. Sean pre-jumps past that one. One more chance for Mankato. A bump from Night Fang. Nick has to make the touch. It's awkward, but it honestly works out. Nobody was predicting it, and we do have overtime here in game one. A closer encounter than I think most people would expect.
Yeah, you would think that Mankato Atlas would come out here and, just absolutely destroy the St. Paul Senators due to them having to missing their first round player and having to play with a sub. But like I said like earlier, Nick did perform pretty well in the last series, and he's showing that he can hang with the premier players again. But off the wall, Fusion Bleach is going to get the goal. It just seemed that there wasn't much defense for the St. Paul Senators here. Crispy with the early challenge, and Sean just barely cannot make it back to that. That is unfortunate, but that will wrap up game 1, and it will go in the favor of Mankato Atlas.
Yeah, it just Crispy looked to be the last man back for just a bit, and he wanted to play the beat. It was a risky go, but I mean, if he wins that, you know, it catches the Atlas off guard, and maybe that's what they've been trying to do when you, I'd say, are the underdog in the series, but doesn't go in their favor. I do like how the Senators played. Definitely had more of an offensive game towards the end of that, found their footing in the series, and we will see what happens here in game 2.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed it, but it did seem like the Mankato Atlas, you know, started to recognize that the 3 goals got scored on them, all from them overcommitting, and so they did start to play a little bit more reserved and back towards the end of that series. And then after that, the St. Paul Senators just couldn't seem to keep the transition goals coming. They did have a few good chances, but they just sadly weren't able to score off of those. But we'll be hopping into game 2 now, and I mean that was a really close game. I have a feeling this could be like a game 5 series here. It was extremely close, way closer than anybody would have thought.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, because I feel as if even with it being a 1-goal overtime game, I feel like Mankato, I feel like they were giving goals up, and I think they know they're better than that. I think a lot of other people know they're better than that. So if they can just shut it down and stop overcommitting, like how they did towards the end of game 1, I think they really could just pour it on in these next 2 games, or however many we have to play.
Yeah, I don't know if it seems that the St. Paul Senators really want to switch to like a very bump play style. They started bringing it out towards the end of the last game, and I've seen it start at the beginning of this game too. And you know, if the Senators can bring out the bumps, I feel like it could force the Mankato Atlas to be in a bad spot. And you know, right now we have Sean, a good chance for Nick. Nick puts on target, and all 3 defenders in net, but none of them can get the save. It seemed like there may have been some miscommunication here by the Mankato Atlas.
Not sure if this is technically an own goal. I feel like Johnny Love might have had it. Bit unfortunate, but not if you're a St. Paul fan. They take a 1-0 lead early, and so far scoring first is always going to be a positive. But is it scoring too early? Plenty of time for Mankato to start their own offensive possession. But Nick has been very good. Does not feel like he's a challenger player at all. Showing with a good, I mean, yeah, you were talking about the bumps, and definitely St. Paul's started rotating through the box of Mankato, something they weren't doing at the beginning. But a 3-on-1 chance, Crispy stops it himself, and still some pressure for Mankato, but looks like it's going the other way now.
Yeah, here we go with some offense from St. Paul. There's a good chance here. Crispy not able to get the shot. Can somebody finish that? And it's a nice shot by Sean. It just seems like the momentum of this game is switched. I don't know why, but it seems that St. Paul Senators are just taking offense most of this game, and the Mankato Atlas have just been struggling to, you know, catch their own and catch a break on defense this game.
Yeah, it feels like Mankato might be a bit overconfident. I mean, right on that goal, Night Fang was in the net. He was in a position, and he just turns up field for no reason, expecting a better 50 out. And, I mean, that's not going to happen. Nick will fire one. Johnny Law will save it like comfortably. 50 boost to his name, but he's so awkward in the corner, and that's what St. Paul wants. They've made Mankato awkward a lot of the time. Nick with the touch into his own corner. We'll get the second. And they've started playing way more controlled, getting at least 2 touches before they're off the ball. And I mean, that's always a recipe for success at any level.
Yeah, wow. A good goal by Night Fang, and it just seems that the St. Paul Senators could not get a piece of this ball. They were trying to challenge, but they just, you know, they sadly could not reach it. There is a goal for the Mankato Atlas, bringing this game to 2-1, 3 minutes left. And we'll see, you know, maybe Mankato Atlas can bring this game back, tie it up, and, you know, start the offensive pressure back. It's a little pop by Johnny Law. Sean trying to take control of it, touches it down to Nick. Nick with a touch to backboard, and Ambrosia will clear that one away. It's looking like a unfortunate situation for St. Paul Senators. They're low boost back, and yeah, Fusion Bleach is going to come in and finish this one. I can't tell if Night Fang bumped him into it or not, but either way, a good play by Mankato Atlas, and you know, they're going to tie up the series here.
Yeah, Sean on low boost there. All Nightfang had to do was just make him awkward and make him mistouch it. That's exactly what he does. Fusion Bleach will tuck that one away all the time. And that 2-goal lead for the Senators evaporates with just over half the game to play. Nightfang into the St. Paul corner once more. And the speed from Mankato has found its way back into the game where, I mean, they're just faster and they're more precise with what they want to do. It's worked so far. And finally, I think they've stopped playing awkward and I think they're playing their game, and that's just a recipe for success especially when you're up against, I'd say, a worse team. That's how you want to play, and that's exactly what they're doing. Crispy up for the shot, nothing there. Nick will go. That's a big 50 win as he was last back. And Mankato will go again. Nightfang missed it, but Johnny Law still won it. Johnny Law trying to do it himself. Nightfang's so awkward. Sean was looking for the bump, and it will go into the corner. A pass mid, nothing there.
Yeah, unfortunate that Nick got bumped there. I feel like they could have had a really easy goal if the Nick bump did not come in. But, I mean, still, it's a very close game. It's seeming to starting to even out, like 50-50 each team on offense. Both teams are looking really good here with a tie game with a minute and a half to go. We'll see. Nightfang up for the air dribble. The double commit by Mankato Atlas. Let's see if St. Paul could take advantage of this. Johnny Law seeming to shut the play down. Seeming that each team is respectively just starting to play a little bit more reserved. Doesn't want to give up a goal here. Looking like the play could come out for Mankato Atlas here. Is there going to be nobody there to save that? Where is the defense by St. Paul Senators? It seems that Sean was just low boost in the situation and just could not get back to it. He did get the boost, but it was a good shot by Johnny Law to put that in the right side of the net where Sean just couldn't reach it.
Yeah, the skim right off the car. It's going to be tough to save in any situation, especially one where Sean was in such a dire point, having to get the boost to even have a chance at it. He will go from his own corner. Sean beats one. Still has to go past two more. Can't get the dunk. Johnny Law 50s it away. He's been outstanding in this game, giving them the lead, trying to put them on triple match point. Sean, the infield pass to Nick. Nick won't go. There was an opportunity there. Not sure it would have resulted in anything, but Nick will touch. He'll bang forward. Johnny Law makes the touch again, looking for the double. Of course he has it, but no boost for him. But now both St. Paul players awkward in the corner. One went for the bump, and Sean will just fling it away. Nightfang flips away. Sean, can he do it himself? He gets one bump. Good 50 from Crispy. Where's Nick? He gets a good 50 himself, but nothing there for the moment. It's still awkward. Sean for the shot, no. And Cato, I mean, St. Paul, they have the offensive pressure, but they're not finding the shot at all. They're just kind of playing it around in the orange half. They got to find something. You got 10 seconds left.
They're direly trying to get one more goal here. They had the offense for 40 seconds there, but they just couldn't seem to find a goal. I really like the offense, and this game is 2-3, 0 seconds. Let's see if they're able to find anything here. Nick able to keep it alive. Pinch off, but that is going to touch the ground and end game two. So it's 2-0 for Mankato Atlas. It's looking like they could sweep here, or you never know, maybe the St. Paul Senators are starting to feel a little bit warm now and for the reverse sweep.
Yeah, St. Paul definitely looked better that game. I think that was a lot more level than game one, but still, I mean, the Atlas, they played how you expect the favorite to play. They came back, they won the game, all the momentum on their side, and it's going to take a lot. I think we need to see St. Paul be a bit more creative. They've kind of only been looking for that infield pass, and it's been there sometimes, but I think Mankato is starting to get a read on it, and want to see just something different from St. Paul here in game three.
Yeah, I like to see a bit more control by St. Paul. I feel like they've been trying to take control of the ball sometimes, but for the most part, they've just been hitting the ball away, looking for demos and all that. And without the control, every time they give the ball away, it seems that Mankato Atlas is just able to control it so well that they are losing all their offensive pressure. It's a good clear here by Fusion Bleach. The St. Paul Senators starting out with the offensive pressure here in game three. Let's see if they can get a goal here. A good 50 by Crispy, 50 by Sean. Can Nick follow this one up, keep it in? Nick does. Sean going for the bump on last man. Nobody there to follow up for the goal. It's a good 50 and demo by Nick. Fusion Bleed's going to touch this one out. Can Nick keep this ball in? Yes, he can. Another demo by Crispy. They are really picking up the speed and trying to get the demos here. I think that the St. Paul Senators have been on offense the entire first minute of this game. Mankato Atlas not getting any good looks out of their half. Yeah,
definitely. St. Paul have looked like a brand new team in this game three. The control's been there, exactly what you wanted to see. And the bumps and demos, they're just playing perfectly. And Crispy will find a goal we all thought was coming with just under 4 minutes to play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Mankato Atlas even got the ball out of their side that entire minute and 10 seconds. It was just full offense from the St. Paul Senators. If they can keep that up this game, there's just no chance Mankato Atlas can win this game. So far, they finally got the ball out of their half to start off with the kickoff, but the St. Paul Senators controlling the ball, Crispy off the backboard. Nick with the 50 now. Sadly, a double commit. Sean went for that too. Can they get back and get the save? A miss by Crispy, but Nick was able there to clean it up. Now Nick off the wall. They do have a play coming up. Crispy with a good 50. That's a double commit by Mankato Atlas. A nice try on the shot by Sean. There, Mankato Atlas getting the ball out of their half. Let's see if Knifeman can do something here with the ball. A good touch. The fake. They're very awkward in net on the goal line, but staying very calm to make sure to get this ball out.
Yeah, Crispy, again, he was big in game one. I feel like that was their game to win, and he was their best player in that one. Sean will miss the ball off the corner, but he's been able to take control of it this time. That's a great touch. Where's the follow? It's there. Sean just wide. Nick flies in, and I feel like St. Paul's just throwing caution to the wind, and maybe that's what they need to do. Nightfang has no boost, but he still wins the 50. A good dunk. Fusion Bleach, an awkward touch to keep it in the St. Paul side for now, but no, Sean clears it away. And now they can maybe play a bit more boomer ball and not control it, but still, this offensive pressure from St. Paul has been relentless in game 3. The best they've looked, and a great start to the reverse sweep hopes. As that one's fired towards that, Nick will save it. Gives them a lead for now. Crispy front post and awkward, had to dodge the bump. Nick up for the touch. Johnny Law cuts it out. And Fusion Bleach will take his own air dribble. Crispy up. Good.
Yeah, hey,
I mean,
good stop by Crispy. Yeah. And let's see if Sean can take control of the ball here. It was a good 50. Can Nick follow that one up? No. It does seem that the St. Paul Senators just started to reside in their half a little bit. No pressure. But Sean with the open net, can he finish that one? And a great shot by Sean. It seems that the third man by Mankato Atlas just creeped up a little too far, wanted to get that 50, and it was a double commit, and they just couldn't get that ball. There's no one on defense to save that one.
Yeah, double commit in the corner. Looked like that was Fusion Bleach that just pushed for the ball when, I mean, they're third. You can't do that. You're only down a goal. You don't need to press, and the kickoff goes nowhere. It'll be a one-on-one. Knifefang versus Shaw. Can Shaw bury it? He will.
Yes.
3-0 St. Paul.
Good goal by Sean. It just seems that Mankato Atlas is starting to fall apart this game. It's like the pressure is on them, and they are starting to fumble and just make some missed plays. And it was a good solo play by Sean, 1v1, to sink that goal in.
Yeah, we will have another kickoff, and I feel like that was the first goal where, where St. Paul, it was a good shot from Sean, but Mankato definitely put themselves in a bad spot. I feel like St. Paul's finally waking up, and they're playing good. But Fusion Bleach, what a save from Sean! Who is this guy? He's an animal. He's going the full length of the pitch. The shot off, saved by Fusion Bleach.
It seems that Sean finally woke up and is ready to play. He's been taking control of the ball so well this game, and it really seems that Sean's turned around. He does not want to lose this series. 3-0.
Fusion Bleach passes back.
Own goal by.
Oh, man.
Is that an own goal by Fusion Bleach?
Indeed it was.
Oh, man, that is not what you like to see. They are not here to play this game. This game 4-0 with 1 minute left to go. It seemed like there's no hope for Mankato Atlas to win this game. It's looking like we're going to go to game 4 here, but maybe they can turn something around. It's only 15 seconds per goal. Let's see if they can do something here. Still, St. Paul Senators on the offense. Almost another goal. Is a good shot by Nick. Let's see if Crispy can slow this play down. Fusion Bleach trying to get the 50. Can't do it. A dive by Nick. Let's see if, the St. Paul Senators can get the ball out here. And then a miss off the wall by Nick. But they still have offensive pressure. There's 40 seconds to go. The time is ticking down and is not looking good for Mankato Atlas to win this game.
Yeah, even the whiffs for St. Paul this game have been productive. I don't think Mankato's expecting it. And, even if this is a 1-goal game with a minute left, oh my God, Crispy, good pass. Good shot. Good pass from Nick. And the offensive pressure just would not allow Mankato to win this game, no matter what the score was. 26
Yeah.
seconds. This one's over.
St. Paul Senators is looking like a completely different team from the first two games. All three players have stepped it up this game and are playing phenomenal. And we have seen some mistakes that we just were not seeing by Mankato Atlas in the first two games. Almost another goal by Crispy, trying to make it 6-0. They really are just destroying them this game. Nick with the touch up. And Johnny Law trying to take control of it. See maybe if they can take the momentum back for the end of this game, but it's still just St. Paul Senators offense. I feel like they were on offense for 80% of this game. There was just nothing that Mankato Atlas could do to get the ball out of their half all game long.
Yeah, it was a complete turnaround from games 1 and 2, but we'll see. I think game 3 is the hardest one to get when you are trying to sweep. So we'll see if game 4, maybe resets Mankato and gives them a new sense of urgency that, hey, let's close this series out. We don't want to go to 5. And St. Paul, they look great. If they keep that up, I think they have a great chance of the series.
Yeah, St. Paul with the full momentum switch and just full offense. It was amazing to see. A completely different team. And Mankato Atlas are going to have to find a solution to deal with all the pressure that's getting put on them. There's just so many bumps coming out by the St. Paul Senators and so much control of the ball. The Mankato Atlas weren't able to get it out of their half. We're gonna have to see, a completely different style come out from Mankato Atlas, and also just solid play. I feel like they had a lot of double commits that game. I felt like at least like 5 of them, and some of them resulting in a goal as well. So they're really gonna need to lock it in and bring their comms up and just lock it in to finish this game out. They do not want to go to game 5.
Yeah, and in that game, I mean, St. Paul had more goals than Mankato had shots, 5-4. And I mean, I don't care who you are. You're not winning the game when that's happening. Just absolutely an offensive dominance form and a good save from Night Fang to maybe just halt the momentum for a second. As a good 50, Night Fang takes it, a good 50 or a good touch across. Nick clears his lines for now. Johnny Law with the ball in the corner. Not a ton of threat as Crispy can wave dash and dunk him there. Fusion Bleach hits it away. And this is probably the most even the first minute of any game's been so far.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of offense from both teams with some good looks from both teams, but just neither of them really able to make anything happen so far. But it was a good look for Mankato Atlas, but Johnny Law not able to get the touch. A bump by Fusion Bleach here. Another offensive opportunity, a pass midfield. Johnny Law touches the backboard. Nathan's going to come in and try and finish this one off. A good demo by Johnny Law, but they're just brought to a halt by the St. Paul Senators. Sean trying to take control of the ball now. Touch out. It was a double commit by the St. Paul Senators backward. One of them's up. Night Fang's up for this. Not able to get the double. Crispy taking good control of it. It's just so impressive how they can look like in such a dangerous situation. Then they just take such good control of the ball and stop all the pressure that the Mankato Atlas have.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, good infield pass. Night Fang looking for his own shot. Nick, what squishy save just to keep this game level. And St. Paul is pulling out all the stops on defense at the moment. Fusion Bleach a good touch over one. Sean hits the way. Johnny Law looking for the infield. Night Fang there with the shot. It's saved early from Crispy. Nick with the beat. 9 boost to his name. Can't do a whole lot, but he'll get a good touch anyways. Johnny Law. Control touch. Crispy up early. And the speed that Mankato is playing with has been countered with even more from St. Paul. And I mean, I feel like that was the big thing that was keeping Mankato in the lead for this series. And now that they don't have that aspect, it's just like 2 even teams, and St. Paul looks better.
Yeah, I mean, Mankato Atlas, just they're kind of all clumping up and getting the same spot. A good bump coming out, though, from Mankato. Let's see if the St. Paul Senators can get a good look here. Johnny Law bringing up the wall. 0 boost. Can he get a touchdown? He does get a touchdown to Night Fang. Night Fang tried to shoot it. Nick with the stop. Nick really trying to show that he should have just gone Premier this season, honestly. He's been getting so many good saves and good shots as well all series long. Let's see if Fusion Bleach touches the ball up to the backboard. But Sean just there to stop it and take control of it. And now 2 people on the backboard. Kind of a double commit, but it seems like it's okay for the St. Paul Senators. Crispy taking it downfield. See Night Fang with the shot. Nick's able to get that one out of there. Fusion Bleach stopping the ball. There's just been so much pressure by Mankato Atlas. They're looking to get a goal here. The St. Paul Senators just can't seem to get out of their half.
Yeah, it's kind of an inverse of what we saw in Game 3, where St. Paul was on the offense the entire time. Now Crispy gonna have to go off his own backboard to meet Fusion Bleach, and he will. Sean towards net. It's gonna be a tough save, maybe. Johnny Law will touch it into his own corner. And I feel like we've reached the point where the first goal that goes in, you're gonna win the game.
Yeah, it's seeming like it's gonna be a 1-goal game here, and it might happen right now by Crispy. It was a good touch, good pass by Sean through the midfield, and it just seemed like there was just low boost Mankato Atlas players in net, not able to jump up there and get the save. Good placement by Crispy to put that ball in the top of the net.
Yeah, definitely. Night Fang with an unlucky touch for technically what was an own goal, but Crispy slotted home himself. 94 seconds, and now St. Paul just has to play the same amount of defense that they've been playing for the last 4 minutes, and they will see Game 5. But Crispy wants a goal for insurance. Downfield, Fusion Bleach to Johnny Law to Night Fang. Nothing there that time. Night Fang will get the touch. Nick has to get this. He will. He'll give it to Johnny Law. Looking for the double. Johnny, oh, why? Shot on. Fusion Bleach. We're tied.
Yeah, Matt, you were saying that whoever scores is going to win this game, but here we are. In 30 seconds, we see 2 goals. It's tied 1-1 now. It was a great 50 by Johnny Law to keep that ball in the middle, and just no St. Paul Senators players to save that ball and save Fusion Bleach's shot. Let's see here, though. 1-1. 1 minute left to go. Let's see if either of them can get a goal to close this game out. Good demo coming out by Nick. Knifing, able to save the ball and get the ball out of there. He has good control of the ball. Isn't able to get the touch. Sean going for the bump now. It seems that the St. Paul Senators are bringing back their bump play style, trying to keep the aggression up. It was a nice try on the shot by Crispy, but it was blocked by Fusion Bleach. They're bringing the ball down the field now. Nick with a good stop, a good 50. Let's see if the Mankato Atlas can keep the pressure up here. Man, it just seems like Mankato Atlas have been on defense most of this game, but they've had just solid defense all game. They're not really letting many balls become a threat here.
Yeah, Sean gonna get beat out there, but Crispy on his own backwalk can touch and get to the ground. Night Fang will 50 it away, but Crispy beats 2. Johnny Law for the touch, looking for the sidewall towards the net. Won't find it too close, and Nick will touch it away. 15 seconds to play. Will we see overtime? Can Mankato finish it? It's a double commit. Time on the ball for Johnny Law. He will get it past Wood off the backboard. Where's the shot? It's Fusion Bleach. It's saved by Nick. Sean downfield. Can they get one more touch? It's still up. Sean will keep it alive. Sean, the flick cut out by Johnny Law and the touchdown field. Crispy will just kill it. And we will have Game 4 overtime.
Yeah, the St. Paul Senators not wanting that ball to stay alive anymore. Just wanted to force it to overtime. But will there be a goal straight away? No, it was close, just wide. Honestly, it was looking like the Mankato Atlas were going to score there at the end. They did not want that game to go to OT. But here we are with St. Paul Senators. A good pop by Sean. And it's looking like the Mankato Atlas are in a bad spot here. Gonna be a touch out by Nick to Crispy, but Johnny Law able to get that ball past him. Oh man, Fusion Bleach almost be able to get the goal. The Mankato Atlas back on offense here. Crispy barely able to get the save. Not a good save though. All right, it seems that the pressure is off of the net. A good pinch by Sean. The St. Paul Senators are just trying to get on offense here. They haven't had much of it this OT.
Yeah, this game has been so awkward, especially in this overtime. Johnny Law for the finish off the crossbar. Can't saved away.
What a save! Oh my goodness, that was as close as it gets. And Johnny Law really just missing the double.
No.
Almost an own goal by Nick. This is so awkward in the St. Paul half. I can't believe what I'm seeing, but somehow St. Paul is still alive. Still reverse sweep potential, but man, it is looking dangerous for them right now. They need some offense.
I cannot believe what is happening in this overtime. We had a kickoff goal almost to start that went just wide. Nick almost own goal. I don't even know what's gonna happen. There's a good touch, but it's just wide again. Mankato have not brought the shooting boots today, to say the least, as we hit the 1-30 mark here in this overtime.
Yeah, Mankato Atlas, they're going to beat themselves up if they do not win this game with what has almost gone in the net. A little double commit by St. Paul here. Crispy touching it downfield. It is seeming like I'm not seeing the control that St. Paul Senators are having earlier. But a good chance if Crispy can put this in.
Crispy!
What a job by Crispy! Oh my goodness. 900 points for Crispy. Sean passing with a great 50. Outfield Fusion Bleach caught up. And Crispy with the insane redirect to put that ball down into the net. What a great shot by Crispy. Oh my goodness.
I told you, dude. Upset was going to happen. St. Paul. All the momentum.
Yeah, they have the momentum going into game 5 here. And you know, I may have picked Mankato Atlas, but I feel like I'm definitely cheering for the underdogs, St. Paul Senators now.
15 shots for Mankato and 1 goal. I don't even, I mean, Johnny Law at the crossbar. There was almost an own goal. I mean, oh, that's a tough one to swallow.
Yeah.
You got to feel like they were the better team in that game, and now we just have to play on.
Yeah, so much offensive pressure by Mankato Atlas. It honestly felt like they were in offense the whole time, and then just one play by St. Paul Senators, and they're able to sink the goal. And if you look, Crispy with 5 saves, Nick with 4, Sean with 1, that's 10 saves for the St. Paul Senators. While, you know, the Mankato Atlas may have been shooting, but the St. Paul Senators were just there to stop every shot they put on net.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you're Mankato, I don't even feel like you want to switch anything up. You had that game won. It was just small mistakes. But we'll see. St. Paul, can they claw out another win? Nick with a good touch. Can he find the double? We'll just put it wide, and Johnny Law will come out of his net for that one. A double commit early. The game 5 nerves are starting to show. Can Crispy find one more rabbit out of that hat and pull off the upset for St. Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see a reverse sweep possibly by St. Paul Senators, and almost a good opportunity off the start of this game. Nick with a close shot, not able to sink that one in, slightly wide. Johnny Law bringing the ball up. The ball is staying inside of the St. Paul Senators corner. A pass down to Knifing, but Nick able to stop that play. Let's see if Johnny Law can make anything happen here. Good flip reset touch, but Nick going to take control of this ball. Johnny Law taking the boost from Nick, and actually maybe I was wrong, but you know, Crispy taking control. They're playing their defensive game again, but I feel like they're confident that they can get any save that Mankato Atlas puts on net. They're just looking to play off of their counterattacks.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I mean, that's what they did in game 1 where they found success. But St. Paul has looked like they've been able to kind of adapt to anything that Mankato throws at them. Really only one game where it wasn't close. Crispy with a touch away. Nick just waiting in midfield. Cuts off the infield pass and gets a great touch himself. Johnny Law should have this. No, he doesn't have the read. Crispy the shot. It's perfect. And Crispy.
Man, Crispy missing that shot, but making it so awkward for Johnny Law. It almost feels like the miss sometimes is rewarding. And it was a good bump attempt by Sean or Nick. I couldn't see which one it was, but they made him jump and made him super awkward so he could not make the easy save. And I think that the St. Paul Senators started off with the lead 4 out of these 5 games, even without the offensive pressure. And, you know, they just weren't able to close out game 2, but they're looking strong here and looking like they could pull off the reverse sweep here with just 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, still plenty of time for Mankato, but the offense needs to find its form fast. You cannot go down 2 goals here in a game 5 with the reverse sweep looming. The mental, you know, you don't want to say it's chalked or anything, but Knifing off his backboard. Fusion breach is saved.
Good save by Sean.
What more can Mankato do? St. Paul's saving everything.
I mean, that was as good of a look as you can get. And another good look here coming out, but Crispy saving it, popping it up, and his teammate is going to be able to follow it up. Nick clearing that. I mean, Mankato Atlas is doing everything right. They're getting all the good looks, but they just cannot score against the St. Paul Senators defense. And Nick taking control of the ball here too. It's seeming like there could be a counterattack here. Knifing taking the shot, and you know, Sean trying to push out to play the instant challenge, but not able to get a piece of it. He was put in a very bad spot here, 2-on-1. It was a good shot by Knifing that put it away, tying this game up.
Yeah, I feel like that was the first time where St. Paul was not in a good spot defensively, and it cost them. But I feel like that's an outlier more than it's been the norm in this series. Sean with 1 touch can't get the second. Need to find that control again. Sean is just going to be dusted by Johnny Law. Crispy, an awkward touch. Can he get another one? No. He's going to try and block. Johnny Law plays it low. Knifing will go up. And a weak touch to his own corner. Sean can collect. Right to Fusion Bleach, though. And it's getting antsy again for St. Paul. Maybe a repeat of what they were doing in that game 4 OT. And they were lucky to even win that.
Yeah, a good bump here by Knifing. And he ends up finishing that shot. It seems like he got bumped and then stalled and able to sink that one in. I was not expecting a goal here, but it was a great bump attempt. And then Crispy not able to getting the save. and the Mankato Atlas take the lead here with 2 minutes left to go. You know, God.
Crispy's momentum just kind of carried him away from that ball, and it's unfortunate, but again, they caught themselves in an awkward spot against a team where they're going to capitalize on that. They've been able to almost every game. As Johnny Law gets it over 2, can he finish? He won't. Sean keeps this game alive for now, and we will head the other way.
Yeah, the playstyle from St. Paul Senators are playing passive here and just trying to keep their lead. It's not going to work anymore now that they've conceded 2 goals. They're going to have to try and bring back that playstyle they had in Game 3 with the heavy demos and the taking control of the ball and good pressure here to try and get a goal to tie this one up. Only a minute and a half left to go, and the Mankato Atlas are seeming to come into their game, and it's just going to be hard to score on them with how solid they're playing.
Yeah, Crispy downfield will have 30 boosts to his name. Will bang it off the backboard. Hit away, Sean to Nick. It's nothing there, and under a minute to play now. It's a pass of Fusion Bleach. Crispy keeps this game alive. Can't get the 100 boost, but it's hit down. Where's Sean? He's there, but he'll flip past it. Crispy on the ball. Beats one, but demoed for trying to even think about that. Sean up. Down to 60 boost. Now down under 50. Gets the 100, though. Johnny Law down to Fusion Bleach. That's been the 1-2 combo all day. Crispy flips past it. It's 50'd into the wrong corner if you're a St. Paul fan. 35 seconds to play. Crispy from his own backboard. Nick gets a good touch. Can Sean go? Yes, but he will be awkward. And Night Faye close. Can St. Paul survive?
Yeah, Nick barely able to get that one out. And they really need to get some offense going here. Only 20 seconds left on the clock, and they've been stuck on defense for the last minute. St. Paul desperately needs to get a goal here, or this series is going to be over. And it's looking like an open net for the Mankato Atlas. Johnny Law squaring it away, and it's looking like that is going to be game over.
Yeah, it's an instant lead from Crispy. Not finishing this game out.
Yeah, Crispy, I mean, there's definitely a chance with 8 seconds. I mean, that's, you know, you can get 2 kickoff goals. I mean, this is Rocket League. Anything could happen, but he did not want to play it out and see what happens. And so, I mean, I guess that's going to be game for the Mankato Atlas versus St. Paul Senators. And close reverse sweep from the St. Paul Senators with Mankato Atlas just showing that they are the better team here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, St. Paul, they tried. I mean, they definitely gave it their all. They tried for the reverse sweep, but at the end of the day, Mankato pulled it out. They found their 4 for games 1 and 2, and they will improve to 2-0 as they start their doubleheaders today.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad if you're a St. Paul Senators fan. 2 series in a row where they just cannot close and they end up losing 2-2-3. You know, I really wanted to see them pull it out, even though my prediction was Mankato Atlas. It would be awesome to see with, you know, Nick having to sub up for KDN not being able to play. You know, it's crazy how close they're able to make these series without their first round player. It's really impressive.
Yeah, for sure. But that will be all from me today. Kato will be on the desk for the second match, and we will be giving that to you shortly. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in a bit.
Yeah, thanks for the help, Iwu.
For sure.
All right. We are going to have the St. Cloud Flyers versus the Minneapolis Miracles here coming up in a minute. And last series was an extremely close series. It started off with the two first games going to the Mankato Atlas, and then St. Paul Senators winning 2 games, almost reverse sweeping, but not able to close out that last game. It was an awesome series to watch, and I'm excited for some more great Rocket League. And I'm joined here by Tibbles.
Yep. Excited to be here. To be honest, I'm not really sure how Atlas took those first 2 games, especially with that 5-0 win with St. Paul over Atlas, which I was really excited to see. Was hoping for the reverse sweep, but we'll have to see next week for Atlas to go down. But yeah, no, I'm excited for today. Got some good matchups as well. Yeah, so what are you thinking about them?
Man, the St. Cloud Flyers are looking just so solid with 3 very mechanical players. But I'm definitely going to have to put my predictions on the underdogs of Stewie, Slip, and Jives, with them being my franchise and all. I am a Minneapolis Miracles player for their challenger team. And, Stewie is my GM. I have full faith in him to win this series.
Yeah, definitely. Stewie's a really fast player, so I'm excited to see that. I think it really kind of depends what kind of performance that Timmy and Moss will provide the St. Cloud Flyers here. I think they're kind of the question marks. Timmy has kind of grazed over Premier in the past, been at the top of Challenger for a while. Kind of the same thing with Mace, a very talented player, but it's more of, can you handle the Premier pressure? So I think for the most part, I think we'll be pretty expected for what we get from the Miracles. I think that's pretty clear. The question for me is the Flyers. What will we see from them? Will they be able to take down the Miracles as the kind of the newcomers as far as individual players go? But I think we should be hopping into the game real soon.
Yeah, I mean, all St. Cloud players are extremely mechanical, and Moss, I believe, making his Premier debut. I know he was in Challenger last season, and there's a little bit of beef between him and Stewie. Stewie had said that he thinks he is a Challenger player and would not pick him for his Premier team, and then him going Premier, I definitely think that he wants to show to Stewie why he is a Premier player. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see him perform here, and we'll see if Minneapolis Miracles can be the underdogs and make it happen here. And we will be hopping to the game now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you're trying to go up from Challenger to Premier, it's always a big thing to try and just going to turn the game down. Prove why you're there, why you should be there. They could do that here. We'll start off with the shot dives. So it's going to bring up post. Timmy downfield now. Drop down for the shot. I don't think it was even him that hit that one in. The defender was kind of pushed into that one, but Timmy and company will strike first.
Yeah, man, great start for the St. Cloud Flyers, just coming right out the gate, only 11 seconds in, getting the first goal of this series. Nobody even really got their footing yet, and they're just coming out here with a good double touch. And, let's see if the Minneapolis Miracles can respond here. Stewie with the air dribble attempt. The touch over, nobody really there to follow that one up. Jives with the soft touch. Flip trying to dunk that, but not able to make anything happen. The St. Cloud Flyers back on the offensive here. And, both teams just kind of trying to take control of the ball here.
Yeah, that they are. Mogi going for that shot. He will find it in. That's their second goal.
Yeah, man, just right out the start. I mean, only 40 seconds in this game, and the St. Cloud Flyers have already scored 2 goals. It was a great pass by Moss down to Mogi. Mogi able to sink that one into the top of the net. There's just not much that the Minneapolis Miracles can do in that situation.
Yeah, and for the Flyers, it's been pretty simple. 2 shots, 2 goals. I mean, other than that, not really much on the scoreboard to talk about. So, yeah, for the other team, for the Miracles, they're kind of still looking for that early onset of offense. A miss from Jives there. Not going to help matters. Gives it right back to Mogi for the shot. Dewey will have the save. Back to the wall. Over for Mace now. One touch to himself. Flip reset. No connection on that second one. Mace over to Timmy now. You like to see those passes, and that's kind of the question I was asking before Kano Mac was, whether they get those passes through. Mogi, his shot might go through, but it won't, courtesy of a save from Slip.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just right out the jump, the St. Cloud Flyers showing that they're the more mechanical players and just controlling the ball so well. You know, the Minneapolis Miracles are doing what they can here, but just another great passing play by the St. Cloud Flyers.
Yeah, great passing play. Mace, excuse me, off the wall. Over to Timmy, and that's kind of the play they've been going for pretty much this whole game one. Is just Mace and Timmy, and then Mogi, you know, however he can fit into this rotation and try to get a shot off, he's done so. And, you know, of course, got to go for it, but that's 2 for Timmy now. And I really think that, you know, with this new format, 16 teams, Timmy is going to be a major threat going into this premier season, all the way back to Stewie now. You like to see that pass over to Slip. Will be off target, though. Mogi has to save it to the corner. Timmy, 1 touchdown field. Over to Mogi. A little bit awkward. Has those players all over him for Minneapolis. Mace. Timmy on the wall. Up to the ceiling. I have a shot here off the backboard. We'll opt for the pass instead. But awkward. And they're doing a lot of defense for Stewie's team over here.
Yeah, I mean, it finally seems that they're starting to, you know, find their footing here in this game. And, you know, there hasn't been a goal in a little bit. They're starting to, you know, maybe the offense here. Maybe they can get a 1 goal lead or 1 goal here, but not able to find it. This has honestly been a really exciting game, even though it's 3-0 St. Cloud Flowers. It's awesome to see some passes coming out from both teams. And it's a big speed increase from the last game, which was just very controlled from both teams.
Yeah, it's kind of defined by these passing plays that both teams are going for. And the reason why it looks a little bit, you know, discombobulated, not quite organized, is because those passing plays aren't as accurate as they should be. That shot from Jives will ring off the post. I like the pass leading up to it as well. Mogi now downfield. Timmy off the ceiling. Can he get that flip coming through? The defender might have put him off. And for now, Miracles have a chance to press.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is just a treat to watch. There are just so many cool passing plays that are almost able to go in. But, you know, both teams not able to find the goal just here. Mas, you know, touching it down. Stewie on the backboard, stopping that one. Timmy not getting the best touch, touching it backwards here. There's a good chance for the Miracles to score here, but they cannot find it. Stewie stopping the play. A demo coming out from Jives too. Can Slip score it? Slip past the middle, but Jives not able to finish the goal. That was their best opportunity yet, and they just sadly couldn't get it. Yeah,
they tried their best, but now it's Flyers' turn to be on the offense. Mogi trying to drop that one down. Big 50 downfield. Stewie to press this one. Try to make Timmy awkward in the corner now. Jives and Stewie double commit from them. Awkward from Mace. Back to Mogi in the corner. Flyers have looked pretty well spread out so far. Another good save coming out from Mace. Another double commit from the Minneapolis Miracles. Now downfield for Timmy and Mogi. Timmy for the boost. Mogi for the ball. Up on the bounce. Still in the midfield. Timmy up for this one. Can Mace get up to that one and get a touch on it? But Minneapolis, you know, their saving grace for this game is that a lot of times they're just faster to the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they've been stuck on defense, but when they're in that bad spot, they just get the touch. And no goal for a couple minutes here. You know, the Minneapolis Miracles finally looking warmed up and ready to play this match. You know, I feel like maybe this, you know, it didn't look too hot for them in the beginning, but it could turn out to be a close series here. Slip up for the ball. Gets a good touch, but the play is stopped by Mogi. Timmy now trying to get play cooking, but nothing there. Moss touching it downfield, the pass. Timmy, is he going to be able to score that one? His posting goes in. Great shot by Timmy, and just another passing play from the St. Cloud Flyers.
And Timmy's offense has just been immaculate this game. 3 shots, 3 goals. A save as well. A save apiece for the Flyers. All 3 players doing their duty on defense. And for the Miracles, I like what you said, that, you know, this is a pretty even game, or you could see this being a pretty even series. I think Minneapolis, they have the potential to make this an even series, but they have to find that groove that Flyers have so clearly found by themselves. It's on their half now. Stewie now back to his defensive half. Will be 0 seconds on the clock as soon as this touches the ground, and it will. Flyers will take game 1.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the game felt closer than it looked. The St. Cloud Flyers just, they had such great offense. Timmy with 3 great shots, dropping the hat trick and, you know, putting it down, or putting that game down in the books. You know, I loved the way that Minneapolis was trying to play, but it's just they couldn't seem to make the opportunities work. And, you know, if they just start making, you know, better plays and some good touches here, they can definitely bring the series back and make this a close one.
Yeah, I feel like for the Miracles, their offense is mainly going to come from Stewie. And that can be kind of a limiting factor for these teams, because when you look at the Flyers, really all three of those players could pop off at any moment and have an offensive play that goes in, whether it's a solo play, an infield pass to a teammate, or what they've been doing so far in game one, so far in this series as well, is just those aerial plays. That pass to Timmy was so good, and he's able to put it away. And I just think the offense of the Flyers is really stifling anything that the Miracles are trying.
Yeah, I mean, Moss with 3 assists there, too. 2 of them going to Timmy and 1 of them going to Mogi. I mean, he was just diming up his teammates, and the Miracles did not have a response for that. It was also a result of a few double commits. They weren't able to make the offense, but it might be an early goal here for the Minneapolis Miracles. They're starting this game off strong, just like the last game for the St. Cloud Flyers.
Yeah, early goal. And I actually didn't say this during the break, but I was gonna say, if we had time, that I was looking for more from Slip. I was looking for more from him. He had 0 shots on the board. His teammates equaled for 5 each. No, excuse me, 5 total, not 5 each. And he didn't have any. So I was kind of looking for that offensive prowess that, you know, as a more rotational player, I would say he still has the potential to. Obviously, that isn't his mainstay, but I still think he could be doing more. And yeah, he had the perfect response with an early goal. And that's exactly what Minneapolis needed to just get their engines going, really. I mean, I feel like they never really got out of first gear in that game one. Over to game 2 now. Timmy with the ball in the midfield. In the air, you can see he's very comfortable on this one. In the corner now, Stewie trying to carry this one out. Mace is the lone defender back off the wall. No second touch for him. Dives, goes right to him. Huge clear downfield. Timmy will have to just balance that on his car. Back to the corner for the Flyers here. Jive shot on target. No, it's off the crossbar. Mogi save up for this one. Nobody to follow up, though. Jive's going for the bump, and it's still in the Flyers' half. Please, for the Miracles, please put a shot on target. They will come through, and unfortunately, they're still at that 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very good opportunity for the Miracles, but they just could not sink that one in. It seemed that the St. Cloud Flyers were super low on boost there and just not able to make any good saves happen. And still, the offensive pressure from the Minneapolis Miracles is in play here. Good 50 by Jives. Slip not able to finish that one off. A good demo by Slip, too. And they still have the offensive pressure. Can they get a goal here? There's a good stop by Timmy, not letting Jives get that double touch. Slip committing for that. It might be just Stewie back here. This is going to be a good chance for the St. Cloud Flyers to finally get some offense on their hands. And a great shot by Mogi, too.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, as you said that, Mogi took it off the wall. Beautiful dribble. Gets past Stewie as well, one of the fastest players, I would say, in the league, and is able to put one top corner. So, yeah, they found that offense that they had in game 1. And you love to see it from him as well. He's one of the main pop-up potentials, I think, for this Flyers team. But now all tied up on this one in game 2. Timmy off the backboard has possession on this one still. Jives will take over. No touch from Slip. Still in the midfield now. Timmy to the side. Trying to keep possession, but Stewie's so fast to that one. No follow-up touch, though. Oh, no. Big miss from Mace, and Stewie will score.
Yeah, man. Mace really needs to hit that ball there, and he just cannot get the read off the corner. And Stewie just there to punish him for that mistake, bringing this game to a 2-1 game for the Miracles. The Miracles are looking so much better coming into game 2 here with the kickoff win from Stewie, but control from Mogi. We do not want to see another solo play going to the net if you're a Miracles fan. And Moss with a touch wide, and the Miracles with some good defense here. Pop, but Slip is going to be there to stop that. And here come the Miracles trying to get their offense back. A good must be by Timmy, and then the Miracles not able to make what would appear to be an easy save.
Yeah, I want to see that again. That's why I was quiet a little bit. I thought Jives had the touch. It looked like his teammate may have dunked him into the goal, but might have to look at that one later. I'm not quite sure if that's what happened. I don't want to blame anybody unnecessarily, but either way, they are going to concede a goal. Now just about halftime. All tied up once again. Timmy putting one off target. That's uncharacteristic of him this series. Over to Mace in the corner. Another touch coming through from Mogi this time. Still there. One touch out. And I think that goal earlier that Stewie scored, I think he just caught Mace off guard. I don't think Mace expected him to go for that second touch so soon. Again, Timmy off the crossbar. Where is the defense for the Miracles?
Yeah, Timmy appearing to miss this first shot here but then just able to follow up his own touch without Slip being able to get back to it. It just seems that the St. Cloud Flyers have taken complete control of this game. Yeah, I know, right?
I'm calling them St. Cloud Flowers from now on.
Yeah, the Flowers, right? Yeah. But yeah, seriously, and maybe another goal if Mogi could put that one in. The St. Cloud Flowers, the Flyers, have just had full control of offense for the last minute and a half here. And the Minneapolis Miracles, while they look good at the beginning of the series, just aren't looking as strong as they did at the beginning of this match.
Yeah, Moss, excuse me, Mace. I've called him Moss for the longest time, and it's news to me that it's apparently Mace. So excuse me, you know, if I call him Moss a lot. But I love the chemistry coming out from this team. They're connecting in a way that Minneapolis it just isn't. And they do have 2 goals on the board, but, you know, that's not really enough when the opposition are scoring 4 or more a game. That's a little bit awkward. Timmy coming in for the pass from Mace. Back in the midfield, Mogi will crash that one. Over to Mace now. Plenty of boost getting bumped up to the ceiling, but can he get back down to it? What a play that would have been, but just about 90 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the St. Cloud Flyers are just staying like full send plays. They are not scared to try and get another goal here. It's like 2-goal lead is just not enough for them. Mogi with the flipper set almost able to get the dunk and put another one in.
Oh, sorry. I really thought when Jives respawned and then the ball just like flies by him, that just like that encapsulates this series for me. It's too fast for the Minneapolis Miracles to track right now.
Yeah, I mean, the mechanics from the St. Cloud Flyers are just so consistent, and you know, Mogi, just watching Mogi in the air is just so beautiful to watch, and it seems that the Miracles are just watching him as well, not able to do much to stop him.
Yeah, exactly. Another counterattack opportunity for Mace. Will go up the ceiling. No touch from him. Jives over to the corner now. Slip. Another miss from him. Just, it looks awkward for the Miracles. They're all... I can see kind of what they're going for, but it's just not working. Mogi now, flip reset, gets far away from it. Maybe for the second touch, it's just sitting in front of the Miracles' goal, but nobody can finish.
Like I said, 2 is not enough for them. They are going for the throat here in game 2. That was almost an amazing goal. Mogi with the touch to Timmy. Timmy pre-jumped too, almost getting it. But the Minneapolis Miracles are looking to take the momentum back so they can get a good game 3 here. But Stewie demoed, and there's just nothing they're going to be able to do to win this game 2.
Yeah, that will hit 0 seconds. Flyers will take game 2. And pretty convincingly, I would say. Like I said, the second goal the Miracle scored, I think Stewie just caught Mace off guard. And that's kind of the only, like, sharp teeth that Minneapolis have this series, is just being unexpected. You know, kind of getting unexpected plays and just catching them off guard. The rest of it, it's been the Flyers show. I mean, they've just been absolutely everywhere. You can look at the scoreboard. 5 saves for Mace. He's basically covering the defensive half. And all 3 of them have over 400 points. So they're cooking. They're firing on all engines, on all cylinders. And the Miracles are just trying to get started.
Yeah, I mean, they're just showing right now that they are the better team. You know, the Miracles, they're wanting to make it happen. But it seems that they're just trying to play off of the mistakes that the St. Cloud Flyers make, but there just aren't many mistakes to be had from that team. They're just playing so consistent. But we will see. You know, they took a little break here. Let's see if the Minneapolis Miracles have a game plan going to game 3 to try and switch something up.
They also seem to have plenty of shots as well. They had 9 shots as a team. So it's not that they're not getting on the Flyers side of the field. It's just that their plays aren't working. They're not getting that final shot on target that's really threatening. And the scoreline did look fairly close. I mean, 2 goals isn't anything crazy, but I don't think that told the story of the game. I think really Flyers had a firm grasp on it, and now Miracles, it's their turn. Then okay. All right, never mind. Mace will score 7 seconds in. I was hoping there'd be a different response. Just a quick challenge from Mace.
Yeah, I mean, I love what Stu is going for there. It's, you know, going off the ceiling, but, you know, Mace just up there, blocking him right away, and neither of Stewie's teammates are back to be able to save the instant challenge by Mace. But, you know, not the best start for the Minneapolis Miracles here in game 3, but maybe they could turn this one around. You know, the St. Cloud Flyers back on offense. Timmy with a good touch. Mogi off their backboard. They're playing really confident and want to get the stylish goals, it seems. Like they have no faith that the Minneapolis Miracles can win this series.
I love that play by Slip. You know, it didn't work out, but he's just calmly dribbling the ball while Mogi's flying all around him like a bee, just trying to get in the way of the ball, and it wasn't working at all. But unfortunately for him, that does not go in, and they're still looking for that goal. Jive's shot will be on target, I believe. Mogi still does save it away, though. Off the ceiling now, Jive's touch. Awkward for Stewie, though, and I feel like Minneapolis are trying to disrupt the flow of the Flyers here, but they're not doing enough to get the ball to their teammates. And, you know, that's kind of their big problem here. Slip. I like that idea of the pass, but it was not executed very well, and Flyers will take possession once again.
Yeah, I mean, the Minneapolis Miracles are starting to get their offense up here, and they're looking to score, but the St. Cloud Flyers are just there to stop it every single time and bring the ball back in. Stewie, though, here with the play potential. Stewie going for the demo while Slip's playing, trying to play, but it's a good save by Mace. Just like the last game, he's just locked down on defense. That is the only defender the St. Cloud Flyers really need. And another good save by Timmy. They're just showing up on defense now.
Yeah, that play, I'm sure they're regretting that one because all their ducks were in a row. Stewie was there for the bump, and I like the idea too. That was a great way to try and get that goal back. He didn't quite get the bump, and unfortunately not the goal. So they're still looking for that first goal of game 3. Drives to the middle now. No second touch from him. Mogi up to the ceiling. Plenty of boost as well. Flip reset. Over one. Over another one. Off the crossbar. Can someone just put this in? Timmy will be there again and again. And Flyers go up 2-0.
Yeah, Timmy just finishing that, but it truly is the Mogi show. You know, taking that ball up in the air, flip reset over the defenders. I mean, Mogi just looks so good in the air still. So consistent. I love watching the mechanics that Mogi is showing us this game. And, you know, Mogi, maybe with another chance to go off the wall here, but sadly it popped out and he cannot follow it. Slip down to Stewie. Stewie trying to take his time, but Mace just instant challenging that, and there's nothing that they can do to get a good offense here. And Demo coming out on Jives. Timmy with the possible double touch. So close on the angle. Oh my goodness, what a good try by Timmy.
Timmy's just on fire right now. Every time he's on offense, he just looks like he's about to score. And I love watching those kinds of games, right? Where the offense is just, you know, going crazy. But Jives, it's this time for him. He will get past that last defender, and just a little bit awkward. Mogi and Mace were... That's one of the few times where I've seen one person on back for defense on the Flyers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Mace is not there to save that one too, unfortunately, but, you know, Timmy with a good trying to save it, but it was a good flick by Jives to put it over their last man and, you know, get their first goal of game 3 here. Only a 2-1 game, but it's going to be a 3-1 game with the pass to Mace. I mean, Timmy just coming in, passing this ball down to Mace. I just don't know what the Minneapolis Miracles can do to win this game right now.
I was going to say they fell asleep at the wheel, but that's just an unfortunate goal. You know, when you see Stewie's point of view in the replay, the smoke happened because of the demo behind him. He couldn't see what was in front of him, so he takes what he thought would be a little touch to control it, and an immediate challenge for Timmy will send it the other way and back into their goal. So kind of unfortunate for the Minneapolis Miracles, I will admit that, but they do kind of look like they're still struggling, and, you know, scoring goals is something that can be really hard when you're playing such an offensive team where, say they have a bad game on defense, they'll just outscore you. That's another shot. Mogi, what a save to keep that out. Timmy, what a collaboration from the defenders to keep that one out.
I cannot believe that they got that one out of there. You know, Mogi with the bad save, but, you know, Timmy hitting it into Mogi to get it out, and it looked like maybe a transition opportunity for the St. Cloud Flyers again here. You know, they're just taking control of the ball, trying to take it slow. They're not wanting to give up this lead to the Minneapolis Miracles, trying to hold their 2-goal lead this game. And Mogi off of the ceiling pre-jumped, the Slip putting it under him. You know, it was a good try by Mogi, but they are getting, you know, a little aggressive here.
Back for Mace in the corner. And again, pressing for the Flyers here. They want more goals. Like you said before, earlier in the series, they don't want to sit back and try to guard their lead. They want more goals. And I love that kind of team that's just never happy with what they have. You know, greedy, but in the best way possible. Up to the ceiling now for Chives. Back to Stewie. They have a chance now. Plenty of boost, but there's nobody in the middle to receive that pass. Right back to Timmy in the corner, and every single second that passes is, you know, even worse news for the Minneapolis Miracles here.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to support the Minneapolis Miracles here to, you know, still come back and win this series because they are my franchise and all, but It's just not looking good for them. It seems like they are not playing together. They're not finding each other on these infield passes. They're not able to make much happen. And now it's just Stewie left on defense alone against the St. Cloud Flyers. Let's see if they can pull something out here. Timmy up with the dunk. That is going to hit the crossbar and not be in. Jives with the touch out and under Moss. With the bump on Mogi, they still want to try and win this game. Here's the chance for a goal from Slip. I like to try in the delayed flip, but not able to find that one. And Mogi is going to close this game out with the transition goal. But I mean, the Minneapolis Miracles had to go all in here to try and get one. So it was a good try.
I definitely get it. I've been complimenting Timmy this whole series, and I'm going to do it again because that was an amazing save. He's just been on point, both on offense and on defense. And 5 seconds left, 3 goals. It's not going to happen. Flyers will take this one in a sweep, mind you. And as this one winds down, it will hit the ground. Well, as soon as Mogi lets it hit the ground, that is. Maybe wanting another one. And I love to see that too. But this series reminds me of, for anyone who's been here in MCS for just the longest time, who's ancient like me, you'll remember the Flyers logo that was a literal jet. It was black and orange, looked so sick. And the Flyers performance today reminds me of that. They look like, a formation of jets that just looked immaculate. They were all over the pitch. They were getting, passing plays both in the air, both on the ground, and we're all over the Miracles, despite the speed that we know the Miracles have. So congratulations to them, and what a great win.
Yeah, I mean, the Minneapolis Miracles, they honestly didn't even look bad, but it just seemed that there was nothing that they could do against St. Cloud Flyers. The Miracles trying to play off of their mistakes all 3 games, but I mean, just not many mistakes to be made from the St. Cloud Flyers, and they were just looking so mechanical and amazing in the air, making great saves, great air dribble plays by Mogi, and just so many great passes and shots from Mason, Timmy as well, just to absolutely destroy the Minneapolis Miracles throughout all 3 games.
Yeah, and the stat for me that really is kind of crazy is that Stewie had, I think, 2 shots. Jives had the most with 5, and that's not really what you want to see for your most offensive player. But yeah, that was a great series. It was fun casting with you. And next up, we'll have the Des Moines Derecho and the Superiors. We'll have a quick break. We'll see you soon.
We see the world in a cold light. It isn't much, but it's all we needed. It's all we needed. With everything in its right place, we push away 'cause it's all we needed. To go through and
Welcome back to Midwest Car Soccer. This league is Midwest Championship Series. Of course, we just had some great action for you. Minneapolis getting swept by the St. Cloud Flyers, which I don't think any of us necessarily expected, especially not a result that drastic. But we do have the derechos and the Superiors up for this one. And of course, alongside me, just like last series, is Kato Mac.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see this series. These are two great teams. I actually just earlier today was watching the Superiors scrim, and they were looking pretty solid in that scrim. So I'm excited to see them play here in this match. But it's going to be a tough matchup. Bryant, Wolf, and Nate, they're just honestly three amazing players, and we'll see if they will. Honestly, I don't even know who to predict will win this game.
Bryant won last season, so
He did.
I think, and Wesley, I swear he barely has any hours ever. I don't know if he's been grinding. I haven't asked him, but actually no, he's been gone for like the last week. Like, I don't think he's been grinding for the last week because he's been at work. So I'm gonna say Bryant. I think Derecho is gonna take this one. Of course, they got the last season line winner, and Wolf and Nate, that chemistry there. I'm sure they have something up their sleeve. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Derechos in let's say 4.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Derecho as well. And I'm going to say game 5. I think it will be close. Wesley has been gone.
Okay.
But, because of those no Challenger Wesley ratings, I'm just going to have to go with Derecho. I cannot believe it, Wesley. All right,
He deserves that. Yeah, we waited so long.
Seriously, and no Challenger. Oh, man, I'm so upset about that. But anyways, we're getting straight into this series, and we will see who is the better team after a few games here. All right, and the kickoff started. The kickoff going in the Superior's favor, but the offense is coming to an end here. Oh, Trash with the good play. 4 is up, not able to sink the shot. Wesley bringing this to the wall. Let's see if Wesley can make a good play happen here. But no, the Derecho will stop this one. So far Derecho just mainly on defense, but they've kept pretty calm. But that was a bad play by Derecho. Wolf just seeming to maybe think his teammate had it, and yeah.
Oh no. I didn't even see Nate miss, and then Wolf and Brian are in the same exact spot, thinking that someone would have that ball touch, but no, nobody does. And that is such a bad one to concede, because you're on broadcast, you see the replay, and it just looks awful all around. But good news for the Derecho is that it's early on. It was only about 30 seconds in, and you got plenty of time to come back on this one, but so far it'll be the Superiors. Try and carry the ball downfield. Flip reset for 4s. We'll just put it in past the defender. I didn't see who it was, but he makes it look so simple.
Yeah, I mean, 4s just taking the easy goal in the 1v1 against Bryant here. Sliding it in the left side of the net. Bryant trying to get the save, but can't. I mean, the Superiors are just coming out strong in this series. The Derecho really need to start to, warm up and lock it in. They do have a lot of time left here, so, I mean, they could show what they're made of here still in the first game and bring this one back. Bryant with the touchdown, Forrest getting the save. Another shot by Bryant, or Wesley, making the save. And then a shot by Wolf, but just high. Trash is awarded the save. Wolf with the double touch attempt, able to sink it. I mean, it was just a parade of shots. I don't know what Superiors could do about this.
Yeah, I don't want to fault Trash too much, because that's a hard save to make, but it has to go somewhere else besides straight up in the air in front of your net. Especially when you have such a rough recovery, you're not really able to get back to try and make that save. Kind of gave it away, and Wolf had a great double touch, but going up for that, he had so much space. You didn't really. I would never bet against him scoring that. So, for the Superiors, maybe they let that one get away from them a little bit, but good news for them, they still have the lead. Wolf 0 boost, no follow up from him. Bryant almost dunked that down past 2 defenders when Wesley and Force. Off the corner now, back to Wesley. Downfield, bump on Nate. Bryant still has the ball. Up to the midfield, Wolf to turn around on it. Trash will meet him. Still in the midfield. Nate up for this one, up to the ceiling. What can he do? Trash up back to the backboard. Any follow-up from Derechos? No, a little bit slow for Bryant. Off the corner, looking for the double tap, but it's an easy save for Wesley.
Yeah, man, I swear, there are just so many shots coming in from Derecho here. And so many good looks, and it was almost a great double by Bryant off the corner. It just feels like they've brought in the pressure and started to reel it in, after those first 2 goals were scored on them. You know, back on defense though here, Bryant carrying the ball out, you know, getting the pinch on the wall, trying to stay with it. Gets the boost, looks for the bump, not quite. Nate getting the 50 here, trying to get another 50. It's a good 50. The ball shoots out of the Superior's corner. Bryant with off the ceiling, trying to get the double, almost gets the block to score it too. And just so many shots still coming in, and you know, the Superiors struggling to get the ball out of their half.
What I like about what the Derachos are doing is that, yeah, they are getting offensive pressure, and yeah, they are getting a lot of shots, but Nate, if you watch his back rotation, he's just making sure that the goal is covered. He's making sure that, like for the first 2 goals that Superiors got, that they're not up too far. And Wolf, you can see him do the exact same thing. Just making sure they're far enough back that they can get that counterattack stop. And they do, and it's working for them so far. And they're still getting opportunities, and that's what's most important. But now it's time for the Superiors downfield. Force will just send it. Wolf will send it back. We'll get demoed for his efforts though. Trash and Wesley a little bit awkward. Trash will take over. Bryant up the wall now. Up for Wolf. Again, over to Wesley. That's a little bit awkward for them. Bryant to meet it. No second touch coming through. Nate to put it on target. Force, but I like that defensive rotation to keep it out.
Yeah, both teams just rotating so well to be exactly where they need to be on defense. I mean, like you said, the third man plays by Derecho have been perfect. There's been almost just no threat because of the way they're playing. And the same from Des Moines. It seemed like it's kind of been a stalemate for the last minute here. You know, no crazy plays coming out from each team. You know, good defense by both and equal amount of offense. And that is a good 50 for Force. You know, Wolf taking control of this in the corner. Trash with the pre-jump, not able to get the touch. It's going back to the Superior side. Let's see with the bad 50. Force touching it off the corner. Kind of a pop for Bryant. Bryant is going to try and get a double here. Force stops that. It's kind of a threatening position for the Derecho. They're able to get that ball out. Will that just go in? Wolf with downfield, hitting the ball all the way downfield with the long goal.
And that's what it took, was that rotation. Trash not near enough. He's turning away from it. Wesley hadn't finished his rotation back towards the middle, and you know, it goes all the way downfield. And the lead at Superiors, you know, they started hot, and ever since then they've started to cool down just a little bit. Now they find themselves with a minute left, and their lead totally gone. It's all tied up 2-2. Back to Wesley, making that save off the goal. Bryant up the ceiling. I like that turn from Trash, but Nate off the corner might be an opportunity. Little tip to the wall. Back to Trash now. Bryant flipping across, won't fall for it. For Trash, back on 4s. For the save off the backboard, can't get back to it. Wolf to send it down. Nate follow up. Wesley with the save. Bryant to turn, and it will be in. And they finally get that lead that they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, they did not start this game off well, but I mean, that is just such a good touchdown by Wolf. You know, Nate getting the 50 that he needs, and Bryant finishing off because Wesley cannot get back to that one. I mean, it really feels that the offensive pressure that Superiors had at the start of this game is just no longer here. And, you know, Derecho taking that place and, you know, really starting to figure out, you know, their play. They're touching the ball to each other, you know, taking control of the ball, rotating so well. I mean, honestly, well, I mean, it is a whip by Bryant, but not many mistakes coming out from Derecho, you know, instead of half the game. Nate hitting it downfield. You know, the Superiors just kind of taking their time with the ball, letting Derecho touch it. Good demo coming from Trash to free up some space. Forrest should be able to take control of this ball now. Bryant challenging. Wolf, last man back. Able to make the touch out. Wesley with the miss. He's going to put them in a bad spot. Trash. No, goal by Wolf. I thought that was going to be, you know, a free goal, but Wolf not able to close it. But it does not matter anyways because the ball touched the ground. Good win for Derecho.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, if there's the Superiors going for that, you know, maybe a little bit more concerned, but Derecho just missed out on their, you know, 4th goal. Didn't really matter at all. It was basically 0 seconds on the clock and they had possession. But for Katomac, for game 1, you were saying about how many shots Derecho were putting on the Superiors. Look at their numbers. Look at their shot numbers. 15 shots. All of them had 4 or more, and they total for 15. On the side of Superiors, they have 4. They have 4 and 11 saves to boot as well. So you hit it right on the money.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like those 4 shots from the Superiors came out like all in the first minute. You know, they got their 2 goals right away, but then once Derecho started, you know, getting into their game and feel out their opponents a little bit, it just seemed that they completely took over the game and were on offense the whole time. I mean, they were just throwing shot on shot on shot on Superior's net. And I mean, they were making some good saves, but at some point you just run out of boost and you cannot make another save. And you know, that's how they got all of their goals.
Yeah, that's what happened with Wesley on that last play, where You know, he made that first save. He successfully made that first save and then couldn't get back to it in time because another shooter was coming in on the half rotation back. So, you know, for Derecho, they have their rotation figured out. They have their placement figured out. And for most of that game, both teams did. But all it takes is one breakdown and one team will break through because of how, you know, immaculate their rotations were going. But a new clean slate now for game 2. And this is a Superior's chance to try and get a good start like they had in game 1, but to keep that lead more importantly.
Yeah, you know, we'll see if the Superiors have an answer for the offensive pressure that Derecho was putting on them last game. And Wesley with a good flick over, but the Derecho back on the offense, you know, but they seem to be playing calm on defense and content with it. You know, Forrest trying to take possession, not able to. Trash, getting the flick over one, trying to speed up the play here while Nate is the last person on defense, trying to make him awkward, but Nate with the good touch out. You know, Wesley with a good 50. Wolf force will follow up. No, Bryant taking the ball. Bryant bumped off of the double, not able to get it. Wolf with the dunk. This is in a good spot. Bryant touching the ball down, but Wesley able to get back to it. The Superiors are looking like they're in a bad spot. Little boost, but they did get a good little reset just now.
That pass from Trash. You can see Wesley almost turn towards the ball like, hey, please pass to me. And that pass was nowhere near going towards him, unfortunately. But I like the idea. The execution just isn't there. And I say that a lot, but a lot of Rocket League is the actual execution of what you want to do. Like I say all the time, I would be the best player in the world if I could actually execute what happens in my mind. But it doesn't. It almost never happens. So, you know, for them to not be executing, you got to start finding a way to do so. But they might have a chance right here. No second touch from Trash. Wesley off the backboard, and maybe an opportunity for fours, but Wolf will clean that up very, very nicely. Oh.
And Trash just putting it in. I mean, it really seems like for the last, you know, good minute here that the Superiors have been on offense and Derecho has just, you know, not been able to get a good touch out on the ball. And then Superiors just finally getting that goal in. It almost felt like an open net, even though one was there. Trash just sinking that one into the back of the net. Wesley here, maybe getting another one. And this is a good start to game 2 for the Superiors. Unfortunate kickoff goal for the Derecho, but, you know, Superiors taking advantage of the good kickoff.
Yeah, they are. Will be a second goal for Superiors, and we're repeating the script of game 1. We'll have to see where it leads, what's written on the rest of this page. Back to Wesley now, downfield. Maybe if they can get a third, they can hold this lead, but back to Wolf on the Derecho side. One off the wall. Nate up for this one, too. Looking for that second touch. 50 with fours. Still in the midfield. Thankfully for Superiors, Trash was there first. Still back in the Derecho's corner, though. Wolf will just fake that one. Defending group goes flying by. Fours up for this one. What can he do off the backboard? Will bounce down. Wesley not there. Nate was there instead. Trash to the middle, but it's cleared all the way downfield from Bryant. Fours will go down. Leave it for Wesley instead. Back to the corner. Over to Bryant. He has some time. Fours on the chase. We'll send it over, but right to Trash, and I love that rotation. Forcing either the touch right to fours, or, you know, if he tries to take a controlling touch past one, then his teammate will get it.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are looking really solid right now. The game is starting to even out. We'll see if the Derecho have an answer. Bryant with the double touch, and Bryant does sink it, showing why he won last season. You know, this is looking so familiar. You know, I feel like, you know, Tibbles, we just saw this last game. The Superiors getting the early 2-goal lead, but then Derecho just starting to lock in on their game, put a bunch of shots on target, and, you know, turn around. So, you know, Bryant, awesome shot by him. We'll see if they can get another one here to tie up this game pretty early. You know, a good dunk by Bryant. Wolf also jumped up. Nate up for the shot, trying to get the double. He is not going to get the double. Good block by fours. Wolf missing the ball. Air dribble attempt by Bryant. Flip reset. Can he get the dunk? No. Good 50. The Derecho is on offense, putting those shots back on target again. But finally, a good clear by Superiors to get it out of their half. And Trash up on the ball. Defending the ball to the backboard. Bryant getting that ball out of there. Nate trying to take this up the wall now. Back on offense for Derecho. Will he be able to get the flipper set? He does, but it's blocked by Wesley. Wolf keeping it in. The Derecho just keeping the ball controlled in the air. It feels like it's air dribble after air dribble for them. You know, but the Superiors just keeping calm, staying on defense, and just looking for their opportunity to strike. You know, good block by Wolf there. Bryant trying to follow it up, but there will be no shot. And Forrest clearing this downfield. And a good touch to Wolf from Nate. And, you know, they're just it's just going back and forth right now.
The problem for the Superiors is that Brian's goal, you know, earlier on, that was not a unique occurrence. They will make that save again, but that's been the story of probably the past 2 minutes by now, is just making save after save. And the only difference on that goal that Derecho got is that the Superiors weren't there in time to get it. They're constantly on defense, is what it seems like. And with 50 seconds left, I mean, Derecho have been putting so much pressure on. Looking for that bump is Nate. That shot will be on target. Wesley to save away. Still in that half, and it has to be nerve-wracking for the Superiors to be... They only have a 1-goal lead right now, but the ball is constantly in their half. Looking for those shots from the Derecho. Brian on defense this time. We'll double commit with a teammate. Back to Trash. We'll put one on target. That's off the crossbar and in. Nate couldn't find the save, but that's the cushion that they needed.
Yeah, I mean, that double commit coming out from the Derecho by Wolf and Bryant, you know, just forcing Nate into a bad spot. Nobody able to force the ball. And so Trash is able to put that one top net, far down, and there's just no way to save that ball. I mean, that is the cushion that they wanted. It seems like they've been playing passive. It seems their game plan is to get a lead and to start to play passive, you know, and hold that lead. But there they are, you know, capitalizing off of the double commit mistake by Derecho to get that cushion that they needed. Only 15 seconds left on the clock. All they need to do is just not let the ball go in their net. And they might get another goal here. Good shot attempt by Wesley. There is a chance Brian can catch up to this. Try and pitch him in for Wolf, but there is no goal. It is looking like it is game over for game 2. This series will be tied up 1-1, Superiors and Derecho. You know, the ball is still alive though. You know, they're trying to get one more.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes. It's finally gonna touch the ground. All right.
Yeah, you might as well try and get one for the road. You know, it won't matter for this game at least, but, you know, just for the confidence. You know, you get the last laugh if you score in the game 2. But what surprises me about the scoreboard is how little shots Derecho had, and then B, you know, along with that, how little saves Superiors had, because I felt like it was constantly in their half. They were constantly having to do defense, and like I said, that goal that I think it was Bryant had, the only reason he scores that is because the defense wasn't there to stop it. Every other time they were. And, you know, I was a little bit worried for them, because if you play like that, the second your rotation is off, you're going to get punished for it. But Kinamak, clearly what they're doing is working. They won this game. Yeah,
I mean, I definitely was saying how the Superiors, you know, they like to get that lead and then just try and play reserved. And I mean, they're playing confident that they can get the saves, and you know, they're just trying to capitalize off the mistakes that Derecho's making. But I mean, I don't know. It just seemed that Derecho had the offense they needed that game, but they just weren't putting the ball on target like they were the first game. The shots were not there, and they just weren't able to connect with that. I think if they can bring back the shot placement that they had in the first game, there's nothing that Superiors will be able to do. But we'll see what they're able to make happen here.
Yeah, they just made Superiors so awkward in the... they made Duluth so awkward in game 1 that Nate almost carrying it all by himself over into that Duluth goal. Wolf, follow up on this one. You like to see those fast follow-ups. Well, grades across the goal, but Wesley, big clear from him. Bryant will have to grapple with the corner now and the ball. Has that 50 through. That was pertinent that he got that 50 perfectly fine, because that could have been in his net if he hadn't. Back to Wesley on the wall, though. One touch from Wolf, back in the midfield. Bash will follow up on this one. Big beat there. Wesley coming across. I like that placement on the rotation. Boers trying to get it middle. Nate reading that one first. Bryant now. That's what Superiors don't want to see, but he's taking care of pretty effectively there, and Wesley will take possession.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that Wesley, you know, he's been on a break and, you know, he won't be warm, but honestly, I mean, it seems like the break really helped Wesley. He has been doing pretty solid defense. I mean, that was a bit of a misread there, but he has been doing very solid for the Superiors on defense and getting the saves that he needs to get. The Superiors are looking pretty like aggressive here at the start of this game on the offensive half, and you know, which is not how they played at the end of last game, but we'll see if they're able to make anything happen here. Nate, touchdown. Wolf jumped up in the air. Brian gonna take this one slow as third man. Touchdown past him. Four is able to get the save. It was a good play by Bryant, but not able to capitalize on it. Nate with the good touch. Trash popping up. Good bump by Nate. Wolf gonna try and get the double here, but it's definitely going to be wide. You know, Bryant just taking control of the ball. Brian's seeming to be just that third man and just slowing the play down for his team to rotate back and trying to let his teammates, cook on the ball and get a good play happening. Trash now touching the ball. Fours trying to put a shot on target. Good 50, good bump, but Trash did not stay there to get the goal, but they still can't get back to it. And Wesley comes in and finishes it. Just so well done by Fours here. You get the 50 and then follow it up to get the bump on Brian. There's not much you can do there if you're a Duluth player.
Yeah, but look how many players it took to get that goal. I mean, they had pretty much all three of them in the vicinity of the Derecho's goal, and all credit to them. That was a great bump, and I like the physical play coming through, but it is just interesting to me how much they had to commit to that play in order to make it work. But they will have that 1-0 lead. They will sow the fruits of what they planted, but still just about half time, and Wolf will take that one right back with a huge dunk in the midfield.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that they might try and take that lead and play how they did the first 2 games, just play reserve. But, right there, a little overcommit from Wesley, and his teammate Trash not able to get back to it. And I mean, it was just a good block by Wolf. There isn't, much they could do there to get back to that one. And right here, though, Trash with a good start here for the kickoff, taking it off the wall. Touchdown. Bryant gets the block. Let's see if Wesley can make something happen here. Unfortunate whip from Wesley. Four is able to keep it in, though. Wolf touching it down. The Superiors back on defense here. And, Four is taking control of it, bringing it up the corner. With the Musty attempt, not able to get much mustard on that Musty, but, it was a good try. Trash taking control of the ball. It seems that the Superiors are trying to get really good. They're getting really good touches here to be able to follow up. But, I mean, I feel like Wesley has not been getting the touches that he needs at the current moment. Missed by Trash, but Bryant was not expecting that one to come out from Trash. See if they can get a play here. Superiors on the offense, not able to make anything happen. It just seems that no matter what they try doing right now, the Derecho is just stopping their offense.
Yeah, they are. Still a tie game here. Nate in the air. And for that dunk on Wesley, doesn't quite find it. Does go in favor of Bryant, though. Looking for that, almost a sidewall. Doesn't quite go where he needed it to in the goal, though. Nate will beat Trash on the back line. Over to Fours. Bryant shot on target. Wesley can't get back to it. Top left corner for Bryant. And again, he's been kind of the offensive prowess that Derecho really needed here.
Yeah, I mean, he just knows how to play third man so well. He comes in as third man at the perfect time and catches notices when they're in a bad spot. And just such a well-placed shot by Bryant. I mean, honestly, if you're Wesley, there's just almost no way to save that if Bryant puts that top left. I mean, just such a good time to come up as third man there. Let's see if the Superiors can respond with another goal here to tie it up in a minute and a half remaining. We'll bring the ball out of their corner. See the Wesley bring the ball up the backboard, touching it out. Bryant keeping the ball in here. No double able to be gotten. Force hitting the ball out. Wesley touching it down to Trash. Trash popping it over Wolf. Can he get the double? There is no double to be had. Bryant with the psycho touch out. Nate with the shot attempt here. Puts it high. Can Wolf follow it up? Wolf also touches it high. A bit of a missed touch there. Bryant going to be able to stop this play from happening. And the Derecho is just on offense. Good 50 by Bryant, but Nate not able to close that one. Wolf coming in, going to try and get a 50 here. Nate probably a back pass. Back to Bryant. Bryant's going to take control of this. Oh, actually banks it over their head. They were pushed up pretty far. Wesley going to be able to get the touch out, though. Wolf with the touch. Man, and they are just in constant offense. It feels like Derecho's been on offense for the last minute, honestly.
Yeah, they might have had an opportunity there, but I respect the rotation, how they're going, trying to spread out a little bit so they're not caught off guard with, a quick counterattack downfield. I'd have a redirect from Bryant. He'll be off the backboard, back to Wolf in the midfield. Off the back wall, can he just put this one in? And the defense for the Superiors was extremely awkward there. I want to see exactly what Force... Okay, Force got bumped, tried to go for the ball, knew he wasn't hitting it, and Trash was nowhere near either.
Yeah, Trash was not able to get back, not expecting Ford to get bumped. It was a good bump by Bryant and, a great finish by Wolf. That puts them up 2 goals with 13 seconds here. So looking like this game might be over, going in Derecho's favor. Wolf with the touchdown. Nate getting the touchdown field. Only a few seconds remain. And as soon as this ball goes down, Derecho will get their second game, winning game 3. Derecho's now up in the series 2-1.
Yeah, a huge series advantage here for the Derecho, and this time it's Wolf to really step up. 6 shots, 2 goals, pretty on offense for a lot of that, and that's not unexpected either. He's a very fast player. Or is actually being the defensive side for Duluth there, and Brian, of course, helping out for the derecho. So a little bit quiet from the Duluth Superiors. I think that, you know, last game they kind of took advantage of what they were given. And this game, it didn't happen the same way. They weren't given the same opportunities that they got in the previous game. And I feel like they're not able to create those chances themselves, because Hidemek, I would expect more from Trash. I mean, he's such a fast player. You know, plays with Stewie all the time, has that kind of same play style. 0 shots on the board. 0. Absolutely none.
Yeah, it just seems that he can't find the opportunities that he wants. You know, derecho's just stopping the play every single time. derecho's rotations are amazing right now. And there was only 2 shots coming from the Superiors that game, and so it just seems that they couldn't find the offense they needed. You know, maybe we'll see some more bumps coming out of the Superiors, or, you know, something just to try and make some offense happen. Their one goal last game being because of an amazing bump by fours. So we'll see if they can make that happen again. Starting the game off with a demo from derecho. This might be a free goal off rip for derecho. Wolf placing it behind fours, and fours not able to get the save. I mean, just coming straight off the gate with a demo play just to get an easy goal 10 seconds in. derecho has the lead already.
That actually brings me to a good point for fours. You know, derecho got the demo and then scored, but fours, where are the physical plays? I mean, when it was fours, Ches, and Bubbly Reaper on a team, I called them demo squad. I mean, they were demoing all the time. That shot from Trash will almost go in, courtesy not of a save from derecho. But where is that physical play? I mean, right there, Wolf got the demo. I'm just not seeing. I feel like the rotation that Duluth has is not allowing fours to be able to go out and get those demos. He had 4 saves last game, and I feel like he spends a lot of that time in the defensive half. Like, I would love to see that last game on ball chasing, because I guarantee that Four spent a majority of the time in his own half, you know, saving those balls and not able to get those demos on offense. So, yeah, you got one, but it's going to take more than that to beat this derecho's team. They might be able to start here, though, 1 minute in. Nate, no bump from him. Four is up for this one. Not quite the flip reset. A little bit awkward from Wolf, though. That will find his way in here for Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, Wesley just putting the shot behind, was it Wolf here? Yeah, Wolf, I mean, trying to jump and block that shot, but Wesley flipping the other way and putting it behind him. I mean, just great shot placement by Wesley. You know, I'm glad to see the Superiors tying up this game with 4 minutes left to go. I mean, I would love to see a game 5 out of them. I feel the Superiors have it in them. They just really need to start getting more aggressive, like you were saying. I mean, if you look, I think, like you brought up ball chasing. I believe if we were to put this in ball chasing, last game, the Superiors may have spent 80% of the time in their own half. It felt like they never got out. So I would love to see it, you know, Trash getting a bump there. Some more, you know, bump heavy play style coming out of Superiors and just trying to get that offense up. They need to make something happen here. You know, Fours with a good save. Trash gonna be able to take his time here finally with the ball. Getting a good air dribble. Can he dunk Wolf? No, Wolf putting it under him. Nate now with his chance for an air dribble. Wesley stopping that play from starting. Wesley gonna try to stay on, but no, he doesn't stay on. Bryant with the shot. Good save by Fours. Let's see if, you know, Trash, if they can get the ball out of their own half. It's starting to seem like last game all over again. Just them stuck in their half. You know, the derecho is just rotating so well. There's not much he can do. The pogo attempt by Bryant. That would have been awesome to see, but it could not happen. Bryant trying to get the bumps. You know, Wolf low boost here, just gonna have to give the ball away. Fours the touch out. They just keep giving the ball away. I would love to see the Superiors start to control the ball a little more.
Yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Nate as well. You know, I didn't really expect, or know what to expect, I should say, as a new player coming in. But I love what I'm seeing. You know, in the aerial plays, he's been doing absolutely great. So, you know, does get beat on that challenge. Or Trash there over to the middle. No touch from him, actually. Back to Wolf. derecho looking a little bit awkward right now. Nate will take over off the wall. We'll leave it for Wesley, though. That shot, I think it might have been on target, actually. Wesley, or excuse me, Wolf will have the stop either way. Won't touch out for him now. Just one to beat, but Wesley will get that 50 through. Nate in the midfield. Down to the corner. Another 50 back the other way. Bryant having to get that boost. He actually misses the boost. Does take the 50, though. Forrest bumping him into that one. Nate getting that one out. A little bit awkward again for the derecho. They look like they might have a chance the other way. Bryant snake past one. Almost on the fours, but he's not going to fall for that one. Missed from Nate. Could make Wolf awkward. Has to retreat now with Bryant. Trash now to take this one. It's on target, but again saved by the derecho. And I feel like, you know, both teams are trying their best, but something is just off on both of them. They can't quite break through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing great opportunities coming from both teams, but just neither of them able to make anything happen with the opportunities they're given. Wolf off the ceiling here, maybe a good opportunity, but he ends up hitting the ball away. I feel like they have the right ideas and they want to make these plays happen, but they're just not getting the touches that they want. We'll see. You know, pop by Bryant. Hopefully, one of their teammates will be able to catch up to that. Yeah, good read by Nate. And I mean, I agree with you about Nate. Like, I didn't know what to expect either when they come in as like a third-round pick, new to the league. But I mean, honestly, he's really showing that he's worth playing in Premier and playing well. See if Nate could show right now. Ford's getting a demo to free up some space. And they have a good offensive chance here. Trash off the corner. Ford's going to be able to probably take his time with this ball here. A good catch. Ford's bringing it around. Wesley wanted to leave it, but the comms did not seem to come through. Trash now with an opportunity for a shot. Good save by Wolf. Let's see if the derecho could finally get this ball out of their half. Bryant popping it. Wesley blocking it. I mean, the derecho's just stuck on defense right now. They desperately need to get this ball out. If they want to win this game and close out this series.
Nate, we'll put that pressure on in the corner. Off the ceiling now. We'll seed it to Wolf. Double commit forced out from the Superiors. What a pinch down the other way. The defense and Bryant were not expecting that from the derechos. And 13 seconds from the end of this game. Look at that pinch from Force and Wesley, the chem on point, and they have the lead.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an unintentional pinch based on just a double commit or if they called that one, but I mean, that's one goal you will take. I mean, if you get a pinch like that, you are going to catch the opponent slacking every single time, and that puts Superiors up 2-1. Let's see if derecho can get a goal, but it is seeming like the ball may touch the ground here. Good double by Trash just to finish that game. I mean, it's crazy to see a pinch like that with 14 seconds left in the game, but I mean, honestly, that was awesome to see. Good goal by the Superiors to finish off that game.
Yeah, and it's a little bit deflating, right, for Des Moines coming in because they were on match point. All right, I just noticed something absolutely ridiculous. Wolf has 750 points, 5 saves on the board. It had the same amount of saves as everyone else in the lobby combined, which is just kind of insane. So they were on defense for a lot of the game as well, but it's got to be so deflating, right, to be so close, to be on match point. You think you're going to overtime, and then boop, nope. Huge pinch from your opponent, and now you're going into game 5 and you got to recuperate and get back into this. So for the derecho, they got to find the next level, they got to find the next gear, and get some energy to finish this one off.
Yeah, I mean, derecho just seeming to slow down from the pace that they initially showed at the beginning of the series, just trying to wait for the Superiors to make a mistake to get a goal off of it and finish out that series, and then a pinch from their backboard going straight into the net coming in. That has to be demoralizing, and that will give the Superiors momentum to try and win this series in game 5. And I have no clue. I feel like it's a coin toss. I have no clue which way this game will go.
Yeah, I don't know. The Superiors now have the momentum. That's a huge shot to get, and when you pop off like that, it gives you so much energy. So we'll have to see if they can use that, or if the offense of Des Moines, if Bryant can kind of lead his team to glory here. We'll have to see. Back in the midfield now. Big clear from Nate, downfield, over to Fours on the goal line for Duluth. No second touch from him. Wolf will just put a shot. We'll be off target as well. Trash to just clear it the other way. Bryant off the ceiling now. Over to Trash, up for this one. You don't want to see him on offense. If you're Des Moines right here, he doesn't quite get it through. Force another shot on target, and this one will go in. And 31 seconds in, Duluth continue their streak.
Yeah, I mean, this is not what you want to see if you're a derecho fan. I mean, just the offense straight out the gate by the Superiors coming in. Trash just putting on the offense, putting the ball into the backboard. Wesley with what you could call, I guess, a fake or a miss, whichever one you want to call it. But then Forrest just sneaking in the shot. There's great shot placement coming out from him. To give them the early lead in game 5. Let's see if they can seal this game. Wesley up, trying to touch it around Bryant. Bryant not getting the double, but Wolf's going to take that one out. Not the best pinch from Trash. Will they be able to capitalize off this? No, Trash recovers, gets the boost, and gets the ball out. Forced a good touch. Bryant, see what Bryant does with the ball here. Goes for the sidewall double, is not gonna be able to get it. Nate following it up, not exactly the touch he wanted. Kind of gave the ball away. It just seems like both teams aren't taking control of the ball right now, and trying to just they're both panicking. I mean, they don't want to give up a goal here, and they're being safe. Good shot by Wolf, but Ford's just there to save it. Trash getting the full boost here in the corner. Not challenging though. Bryant with the touch that could be just on target. Yeah, it was, and the Trash getting the save that's needed. It seems the Superiors are kind of all over the place at the moment. Light shot by Trash, a good save by Bryant.
I love that little tackle on the Derechos player. This kind of threw him off a little bit, but Duluth do look a little bit awkward. Trash wanting to continue that defensive play, and then Force kind of getting in the way a little bit. Trash that shot on target. Brian will have to dive in front, make the save. Back to Wesley. Not off target. Off the corner now for Force. Back to Bryant, though. All three Derechos player in the same spot. Wolf getting it past one. Wesley just calmly in the corner now. Wolf will back up on this one. Retreat back to his home side. Nate to take over. Over to Bryant. You like to see these passes develop. Bryant off the wall to himself. Over to Wolf instead. The flick coming through. No, it won't. Force will get that touch. To Des Moines, you can see the vision, what they're going for, but it's not working so far. Trash will the flip reset downfield. Over in the mid. Wolf will take over. A little bit awkward in the corner again. Bump coming through for Trash. Again, Wolf having to back up on this one. Does get it past another player. Over to the mid, but gives it away. Huge, almost a pinch again. And oh, I would have laughed if that had gone in as well.
Man, I just know that Derecho would have been so upset if they got another pinch goal to extend this lead here.
Yeah.
And it was a good shot attempt by Wolf, but Wesley just getting the touch out. And Wesley also going to get a block here. Bryant kind of forced into a bad spot, but he's going to take good control of the ball. Can he get the 50? No, Forge gets the block. Wesley's going to try and touch this around Wolf. Is there a follow-up from Trash? No, there is not. Nate getting that ball out. I mean, the time is just ticking by. And Derecho, I mean, they have the offense, but they're not getting good shots on net and getting a goal here. I mean, they have 2 minutes left to tie up this game in game 5, or they're going to have to be going home with loss tonight. Let's see, Nate bringing the ball upfield, gets a pass out. Wolf's not gonna be able to get that save. Bryant taking his time with it. Nate almost getting in the way, kind of rotating in front of the ball there. Fours now taking his time with the ball. Good challenge by Nate, gets it around him. Wolf following it up. Let's see if Wolf can do anything here. No, Trash with a good stop. Nate is probably playing the block and not expecting to miss. And let's see if the Superiors can get a goal here. Wesley, good bump attempt by Trash. That's exactly what we were saying that they needed. But, Wesley accidentally hitting the crossbar. It was a good try on the shot. Wesley with the pop. Sadly, his team is not going to be able to follow. Wolf with the shot. Force calling off Trash. Trash able to get the easy save. The Derecho is picking up the pace right now on offense and, really trying desperately to get that goal. They only have 1 minute left.
I would like to see those shots be a little bit more complicated than just straight at the defense here. Wolf literally put it straight at the defense, and I'm hoping that, for Des Moines, they can invest a little bit more in each attack, just a little bit more positioning up the field to try and support the player with the ball, this first man, because when they have those shots on target, when it's soft like that and easy to save, you just give possession away, and that's not what you want to do here, to give it away to Duluth. 30 seconds now for them to try and find something. Past Bryant for Wesley. Nate will get one touch. Over to Bryant now. 50. Back to the midfield, though. Wolf will beat Trash to that one. Over in the corner. Can they get one going? Actually, it's off the backboard. Bryant to put it in. It's over high. He might have had a chance right there. The defender was awkward. And now all the way downfield for Trash. We'll find this one out. Still in the corner. Bryant awkward. Nate was going to go for that one, but we'll have to give it to Bryant. Big 50 from Trash. Up in the air. They have to keep this one up, or they will lose game 5. It will be down. And against all odds, where Superiors looked a little bit slow to the party, they have absolutely celebrated this one.
Yeah, wow. I will say, I really thought that Derecho was going to get that goal there and tie up the game to go to overtime, but it's just Superiors, just locking down on defense and not letting that happen. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, going into the series and based off of game 1, I completely thought that Des Moines had the series in the bag, but the Superiors really just came back and took the momentum back and were just able to finish off the series so strong. I feel like Derecho, Des Moines, they just, all of a sudden the shots were lacking, and they just, after that pinch, especially in game 4, it just seemed like they lost all of their confidence and couldn't really get anything started.
Yeah, I feel like they were on the side of Duluth for quite a while. Like, I actually had confidence they would get a goal back. I really thought that they, would find something. They were, in the vicinity, getting passes to each other and trying to go back and forth. And generally, eventually, when you're in that situation, you'll find a chance and you'll be able to take it. But I have to give credit to the GM himself of Duluth Fours, because he just had a countless number of saves each game. He had 4 saves that game. I think another game I said he had 5 saves. He probably had similar amounts in games before that as well. He was just on another level defensively. And while Duluth were struggling for goals, he basically kept Des Moines in check. He was doing everything he could to try to keep them level, or at least in the game. And they actually ended up winning. So yeah, congratulations to them. And I got a shout out for us.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would give the most valuable player of that series to Fours as well. It just felt like he was doing so much for the Superiors. I mean, making great saves and creating so much space. I mean, he would get one touch and go straight for a bump, and a lot of their goals resulted in his pressure on the Des Moines derechos.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, just great series, and I'm glad to see Superiors win. That was an awesome one for the Superiors.
Yeah, I'm glad to be able to cast that series with you. I believe that's your last one of the night, if I'm not mistaken. I think you've casted 3 so far. So, of course, thank you for coming to the stream. We love to have you casting. Anyone else new that wants to try out casting, definitely try it out. I'm happy to cast with you and see how that goes. But next up, we do have Green Bay and Brainerd. That will be our last series of the night for Premier. But we should have that for you in just a few minutes. See you soon.
We stand and watch the world go up in flames. We fight for love until we die in vain. When the sky is getting dark and we're broken in our hearts, when we build our own demise, from the ashes we will rise. When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground? When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground? Be my solid ground. We look off the edge till the waves come crashing
I'm stuck inside of these walls with you. I don't recognize who I've turned into. I'm losing hope and getting myself back. Everything around me is starting to turn black. Don't tell me you're hurt again. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how it's all my fault. Yeah, I've met my match again. Starting from scratch again. Where is the pleasure in all this pain? Don't you lie to me. Say it's all okay. When it feels like I'm drowning.
Interesting.
Of course, but AO does have some Premier experience, so it'll obviously be a factor, but I can definitely see him still performing well. I don't think it'll be super one-sided, even with him, with Victory having the sub, so it should be a very good match.
Yeah, and of course, Angel, he's kind of the X factor for me. I'm not really sure what to expect. You know, I think he might have played for MCS in the past, but Volt Destroyer and Mamba, both very solid players, both very fast, mechanical as well, particularly Volt Destroyer. So I'm interested to see how Angel will fit in and kind of add to this team. I would expect this this game to be breakneck speed constantly, especially coming out from the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. These are two 2-0 teams. Both of these teams won earlier today, and they won in week 1. So this should be a really good matchup. Very, very cool is the Victory have won in sweeps on both of theirs.
Wow.
So yeah, if I'm seeing the scores correct, which I believe I am, so this should be real good, and I'm excited to get into it. Here we go.
Yeah, and the Knights last week, 3-1 win over Duluth Superiors. Of course, we just saw the Superiors take down the Derechos, and, you know, maybe kind of unexpected for some, but I thought they played very well. So, yeah, good results all around, and we'll have to see how that will affect the mentality of both of these teams. Angel now with the ball over Vogs. Downfield, Hams will try to control it, but Angel right on top of him, 50 coming through. Back on that one, Mamba has some space here. We'll opt for the pass over to Angel, blocked by Hams. I love that reading of the play. You could see him happen.
Yeah, that was a huge opportunity, but it was cut off so well. If that wasn't cut off, that could have been a goal. That was going to be a dangerous shot coming from the midfield.
Back to Volt Destroyer now. Over to the mid, does give it away to AO. Hams downfield, big flick up. I'm off the wall, second touch. Back to Angel trying to get to that one, and Brainerd really doing as much as they can to just stifle this possession that the Knights have. Back to AO, controlling this one. The sub coming in. Back to the middle. Angel will take over. Over to the other side. Plenty of space. Volt Destroyer. Oh, big fake coming through from Hams. Volt Destroyer to follow up on it. Will be off target, though, off to the other side. Double commit from the Knights here. Mama maybe off the crossbar. Does dunk it in. Vox had no chance with that.
Great plays by the Knights there. That they just controlled that so well. Took the time when they had it. Mamba, he could have gone faster there, but he decided to take the time, had the control on his card, took it off the backboard, just left the Victory in such an awkward spot on the back line, and he tucks that one away just beneath the crossbar.
Yeah, that's an insane angle to get a dunk like that. A huge fake from Angel coming
There's
through.
another one.
Mama will try to save it, but yeah.
Yeah, great. Another good play. Big 50 and a bump coming out. I didn't see that live, but Angel gets the bump on that last defender, leaves it wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. 2-0 for the Knights now. Over to Hams off the kickoff, up to the ceiling. Ooh, Angel will be first to that one, actually. I like the speed coming up from the Knights, like I said before. Up for this one, the demo coming through. Now the Victory fighting back with some physical plays of their own. AO will be saved away by Angel, still in that corner for the Knights. Over to AO. No follow from him. Volt will get it downfield. Hams cutting that one out, and of course, Hams, a player that has played Premier before as well. You know, played with Vanish and Azel, so used to a team that is very fast on the ball, like Vogs is as well. Off the crossbar for that one. Hams to follow up. Volt Destroyer not expecting that one, excuse me, and they'll have one back.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that angle. I'm not surprised at all that the Knights weren't either. Ham's coming out of nowhere, it seemed like, to get that angle in. Just tucks it right in past that post. And it's a 1-goal game now after Knights looked pretty dominant early, but... sorry, yeah, the Knights looked pretty dominant early, and now the Victory have some control here.
Yeah, and the Knights, their defense just was so awkward there. I think all of their players were expecting one of them to hit that. Excuse me. But that touch didn't come through, and you know, the Victory will get a goal because of it. So now it's their opportunity to try and build on that one. Angel trying to come through. Won't find that one. Back to AO on the side. On in the corner. One touch to himself. Hams will be looking for that mid pass. Won't quite find the touch on the ball. Mamba downfield. Huge pinch up to the ceiling. We'll follow up on it. Volt Destroyer shot off target with a follow-up, though. And the Victory defense is so slow to that ball. Volt is all over them.
Yeah, the tips looked really cool from AO, but it probably wasn't the best hit. It comes right back into the midfield, gives the Knights the control, and they can put that one away without much trouble. The defense was just too awkward after that pinch.
Yeah, so awkward, and the Knights just consistently outpacing this team. We'll go down the field, back into the Knights' territory, put back in by Mamba. Hands over to Vogs. That shot might be on target. It's off the post. Mamba, I think, had the save either way, even if that does go bottom corner. Hams with possession, though. Up in the corner, for a zero booster. Pretty much so. Huge pinch downfield over to Hams. Back to Vogs. Shot on target, saved by Angel. Up to the ceiling, who will follow up on it. No touch from AO with a backflip instead. Huge turnaround on it. Trying to keep that ball in the Knights, but Angel harassing those defenders. Mamba opting not to go for that one. Knew he was beat to the ball. Hams now in the aerial play. Looking for that flip reset. It's just off target. And I feel like for the victory, they're doing their absolute best to try to get some kind of opportunity on target. But the Knights are just there for every shot. What a save on the shot from Volt Destroyer. Mamba's follow-up will find its way in, and that's a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, the Knights, sorry, the Victory are trying to press, but they're just stuck in their half whenever they get kicked back. But they just, I don't know, the Knights just keep on pressing every time they get on offense, and the Victory just don't seem to be able to answer on defense. They're trying, I feel like when the Knights are pressing, when the Knights are pressing, yeah, the Victory just can't do anything. And on the other end, it feels like it's a lot of solo plays from the Victory. The Victory need to find the teammates, get these opportunities going, because the Knights, they're just dominating right now.
Yeah, they really are. They're all over the pitch. Mamba looking for another one. He will find his way through. Mamba is on fire right now, and I love that play. Had to read off the ceiling. Perfect pass to himself. Flip for the second as well, and the finish.
Yeah, 4 goals from Mamba. He's working at this Victory defense. There's no one stopping him right now. Victory have to figure out their defensive rotations because, yeah, Mamba is working them. Bolt with 1 goal, Mamba with 4, and this game is out of hand already.
And I hate to say, oh, wait, that might actually work. No, it almost did. I thought, maybe they're awkward, but they almost had one in. I have to... All right, I'll talk about that later. Vogs will score one. They'll get one back. 45 seconds. I mean, it's doable.
It's super unlikely, but yeah, it's doable. But if nothing else, that's momentum. They're finding ways to score, which is good. If they can continue that in future games, they got it. But I still have 45 seconds in this one, so we can see if they can get it back.
Yeah, I was going to say that, maybe the presence of AO, it's hard coming in as a sub, especially when Premier is so competitive. We said it won't be a landslide. I don't think it will. I think that for the Victory, they'll find a way to recover. I don't think all of the games of this series will be like this, but it is a little bit different than having one of your main players on the roster. So, coming in, AO is a great player, don't get me wrong, but it's very, very different. So they're going to have to find a different way of trying to get past this Knights team, because so far what they've tried has not been working. It's about 10 seconds now, getting demoed for that touch. Bull Destroyer fast on that one. Mamba almost saved it off the squishy, but Bull Destroyer will find his way through. And again, yeah, that demo, then beating in the air. AO not quite fast enough.
Yeah, and great placement by Volt Destroyer right beneath the crossbar. There was a defender in net, but he just couldn't quite reach that. There was too much speed, too much placement, and that one just slotted away. This game is going to end with the Knights up, and Victory have to find a way to respond.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll, right, with higher level players, it's a lot easier to try and, you don't really have a set play style. You have tendencies for sure, to be mechanical or to try and go in the air, but it's not a set in stone thing where, all right, I'm the third man, I can't play anything else. So I'm sure they'll be able to figure something out. It's just analyzing what happened in that game 1 against the Knights, where they had a 4-goal deficit when everything was said and done, and then trying to adjust for game 2.
Yeah, and it does make it more difficult when there's a sub. Obviously, we keep pointing at the sub. I wouldn't say it's even his fault. It's just difficult bringing in that difference in what you're used to. I'm sure these teams have been scrimming a lot. The Victory have a lot of experience with Kai, but not AO, so it's going to be difficult to make those adjustments without really knowing each other as well. Hopefully they can, because I really want to see this go far. I think these two teams are very good.
Yeah, it's not a good sign for me. The Knights both had more goals than the Victory and more saves in that game one. Mamba absolutely going off. Immaculate shots a goal record, 4 shots, 4 goals. That's bad news for Victory. You do not want to be letting a player go 100% shot to goal ratio. That is not a good situation to be in. So yeah, like you said, I'm hoping to see some defensive adjustment, and both teams are very talented, so I'm sure we will. But starting game 2 off here, just about 10 seconds in, and so far, Victory actually have possession.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that was actually a Victory's first loss, so game loss. So we'll hopefully they can bring this back. But Mamba trying to get it back middle.
Oh, I love
takes
that.
the shot. That's a very gorgeous play, using the midfield, capitalizing on the 2-on-1. Gets past AO, gets past the second defender, and Volt Destroyer puts it away.
That's so awkward from Hams. You can see him try to get the touch just to slow down Mamba. And then as soon as Mamba gets that pass, you know, I couldn't see Volt in my field of vision, so I was like, please can they have a player there? Please can they have a player there? Because that is such a beautiful play, and they finally put it in as well. And to start off a game like that, it has to be demoralizing for Victory coming through, because you tried so hard, put so much effort in to try and get 2 goals last game, and not even a minute in, Knights have restarted where they began last game and have a goal on their record. So yeah, a little bit awkward for them. Angel trying to find his way through. He will. He's just sliding through this defense like it's nothing.
I need to watch this again, because he just worked the defense, all 3 players back, and he got it past every single one of them with the ground play. What a catch on after that bounce off the corner, and holy cow, that was great control by Angel. What a shot.
Yeah, just like the awareness
Yeah.
to know that the first man going high, that he should fake and go low. You know, that's the kind of skill that I expect from your players to have, and Angel is showing off right here. Volt Destroyer might have another one. Touch off the backboard, not a good one from the defense, and Angel will put it in again for a 3-goal lead.
They're making it look so easy, just working every hit. They're playing it away from the Knights whenever they have, they're playing it away from the Victory whenever they think they have a touch. It's just right behind them, right around them, and they're playing for the team. This team looks unstoppable right now.
Yeah, it was that half rotation that allowed Angel to get that goal. He might be able to hook this one around. It will be just off target. Didn't quite have the angle, but if he rotates back on that play and tries to let the third man go for that, you don't get that opportunity. So to have that awareness to turn around, you know, get a challenge and get a shot on target and in the goal as well, you know, that's why they're doing so well. Kind of what I expected from them, but we'll have to see if it continues. Fogs off the wall now. Back for Volt Destroyer. 50 actually goes past him. Mamba trying to get this one out off the corner on the backboard. Angel will get one out. Now a chance for Knights to press, put pressure on. Back to Hams, looking for that aerial play. Flip reset. We'll use it on the ground, actually. Almost waited before it was even too late for the Volt Destroyer on the wall now. No boost to work with. Let's get it past one. This is almost open off the wall, and I like the idea from Mamba to try and leave it for his teammate because he knew it would be blocked, but it... Okay. I was going to say it didn't work, but he's just going to turn around and score another one.
That's crazy. It's not letting me see what the goal is. There we go. But the Victory they're trying to control it a lot. I feel like they're taking a lot of solo plays, taking a lot of control, but there's no support for the team. They're not playing for each other enough. They've got to be watching for each other on these plays. I've seen Hams take it up solo quite a few times. He's gone for a flip reset, I think 3, and it never really manifests anything. The play itself is decent, but then there's no follow-up. I just really need to see this team play for each other, because right now they look like a bunch of individuals.
They absolutely do. AO trying to do some damage, though, on the Knights side. Still in the corner for Angel. Over to the right side for Volt Destroyer. Does put a shot on target. AO with the save. Back to Mamba off the wall. You like that follow-up from the Knights. Volt Destroyer fast up to this one, but he's matched by the defender there with the 50 in the air. AO downfield. Maybe a chance for Vogs to put one on target. Yeah, it might have been high. Either way, it's going to be saved by Mamba. Back in the corner by Hams. Again, cleared all the way downfield.
So much space.
That's forcing Victory, yeah, to go all the way back and have to start again.
Yeah, they're trying to press hard, but the third man is pushing too far up. The second man isn't in the right spot. They lose the control almost every single time that they press on offense, and then the Knights just take it right back. And again, slow follow-up. He is able to get there first, but that then gets cut off, and now, of course, the Knights have the control again. As Victories are trying to cut it off, Knights cut it back into their end. It's a bit of ping pong right now.
It is ping pong. Ham's actually getting full clobbered off of the corner there. I want to see that again, because that was an interesting play from him. Yeah, up in the air. Actually gets a great pass out. I thought he got bumped into it. No, gets a stellar pass out. Vogs will meet it in the midfield, and that's their first goal on the board. But that's 1 minute and 8 seconds left, Clash. It might be too little too late.
Yeah, it most likely is. Again, there's a slim chance, but it is very little. If he can maybe get this one in, no, there's a defender in that. Big demo is going to ruin any chance at a counterattack there. With 50 seconds left, we have to see the Victory figure out a way to get this back onto the other side.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of demos. It's a battlefield out here, and Victory trying to do their utmost to keep it in the half so that they have, chance creation, just to have an opportunity. Awkward for AO. That's not going to help him out at all. Goes past Mamba. Volt Destroyer will just hook it around the defender, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, just a easy punish for the Knights there, and AO lost control right in front of his net. Volt Destroyer is able to cut it past the last defender, and that equals a goal for the Knights.
Yeah, 31 seconds left. It's possible. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but like you said before, highly unlikely, and they'll have to do some work, probably score right here. That shot would have had to go in if they have any shot of trying to get this one back in favor of themselves. 15 seconds left, though. The rest of the time is going to be focused on what can they do for next game. They're facing a reverse sweep situation. Knights on match point. They're all over the ball, all over the mechanics, the musty as well. The follow-up shot from Volt Destroyer off the backboard. Angel to follow up, a 6-1 lead, and we still have 1 second on the board.
Yeah, why not get one more there? It looks like they're just freestyling right now. Mamba getting it back middle. Angel cutting right in front of Mamba for the shot. And yeah, just clean plays. No defender is able to get a hand up, and 6-1. Another blowout victory.
Yeah, that will touch down. Like I said, Knights on match point, reverse sweep situation for Victory. They have to try and come back and get 3 wins in a row when they have struggled to even match the goal output of the Knights. It hasn't even been overtime after overtime. It's been utter domination by the Knights.
Yeah, shots are coming out of Victory. There's 6 shots from the Victory. They're getting some offense, but not compared to the Knights. They have 9, and with 9 shots and 6 goals, that shooting percentage is going to be almost impossible to match.
That is unreal.
If almost every single play that they get on offense results in a goal, what are you going to do if you're Victory?
Yeah, and on the other side, you got a 1 in 6 for shots to goals for the Victory, and they did get one back. To be fair, it hasn't been completely one-sided, but I feel like the Knights, their half rotations are on point, and what it's doing is forcing Victory to get the absolute perfect touches. They have to be able to possess it in their half, get it to a teammate or space in the perfect manner, and they haven't been able to do that. And the half rotations that Knights are able to afford themselves have allowed themselves to get opportunities because of those mistakes, and they're essentially suffocating Victory. They have no room to breathe.
Yeah, and the touches they are getting aren't great, but oftentimes the Victory aren't even getting touches on defense. It's just the Knights working the backboard cleanly with no opposition. And this is going to be an opportunity that looked like it might have been saved by AO. I'm not sure if that was going to be on target or not, but it's a little bit of a poor rotation, a little bit of unluckiness, and now it's a little bit of a counterattack from Volt Destroyer. Angel bangs it off the backboard. There is a player this time able to get it out. Whoop, and there's a follow-up by AO, but that's not a great touch. Is there another good? There's going to be another goal from Volt Destroyer off an errant touch. No defender back. Bit of a double commit by the team, and yeah, they have to be getting these better touches on defense.
Yeah, it's just not worth whatever touch you're gonna get there. It's not worth risking it as third man. Hams was not even clear of the play. He was still in the midst of the play, couldn't get back to it, and yeah, it's just a mistake to go there as third man. So they have to clean those up.
Sorry. Yeah, and Vox was going too. It was a double commit. He was committed already, and then he tried to fall back on it. Hams was still rotating back, so yeah, AO going there. The other two players were already struggling, and it was a dagger having AO go too.
Well, they'll have to clean that up moving forward. Game is still within reach, only 1 goal lead.
Really?
Now back in their half, still in the possession of Hams, now downfield. Over the Knight's corner, no touch from him. Volt Destroyer, huge clear downfield. And this is where I want them to possess the ball and not give it away like they just do back to Volt Destroyer.
Yeah, almost every touch, and there almost was an opportunity there. Every player on the Knights was in the same corner. That gives the Victory some control, though. Vox tries to take it solo. Back middle, no one there. Angel easily clears it out. Hams controlling it in the midfield, gets demoed for his efforts. Boggs with another 50. That might just be open. Can't quite get it on target. AO is back. Hams with control of the ball. Gets a little bump from his teammate to clear the way. Mamba counter-attacking, though. Does Vox get a good touch? He does. It's a little awkward on the follow, but no real attack coming. Angel gets 2 big 50s, though. Might keep some pressure. Hams doesn't like that, and gets a pass down to AO, almost on target from AO. Not quite, just barely not. Vox, is he going to be able to get back in time? He is. Gets the clear out. AO trying to follow this. Lets Hams go. They are getting some pressure now. It looks like some control from the Victory. I want to keep seeing this. They're not just letting it happen on the defensive side. Boggs gets demoed for his effort. I thought it was going to be the other way around. Big flick from Volt. Gets cleared out from Boggs. AO able to follow it up. Great pass out to Boggs. And yeah, Victory, they're figuring something out, but they haven't got a goal yet.
Yeah, I like they're being a little bit more dynamic. I like the saves that AO's had, you know, been a little bit more consistent on that side. Angel a little bit awkward on that one, on his own backboard with minimal boost. That's a very bad situation to be in a high-ranked lobby. No shot from him, will be saved away. Volt Destroyer flick past one. Mamba to follow up on this one. We'll just dunk it down. The defender, no touch there. And I feel like that was totally preventable.
Yeah, they've expected a lot out of Mamba. He scored so many goals that they're expecting something flashy. But then Mamba just decides, they're expecting something flashy. So he makes it so simple, drops it down, takes the fake, and takes the free goal.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're AO, you just have to go for the ball there. You can't afford to try and read the touch that Mamba has.
Absolutely.
But I didn't see his point of view, so I'm not going to say that definitively. But I do feel like that's a part of it. And you have to be solid on those touches if you're going to keep the Knights out because of their offensive prowess. Just over a minute left now, a minute and 20 seconds. Angel downfield for this one. Vogs to return the favor. Back in the mid, Mamba. Over to the other side, Hams will just return it to the midfield. One to put it back in. AO is turned. Oh, what a save, but that turn almost cost him.
How did he get that out? And this could be a counterattack. Mamba trying to get the control back into the Victory half. AO gets it cleared out. Can he follow it up? Kinda. Mamba trying to press here. Will he? He lets Angel go, and that's a huge hit back into the Victory's end. Victory are going to need to get a goal or two here. Well, they're going to have to get 2, but they're going to have to get a goal very shortly to give themselves a chance. But that's another huge clear, putting it right back into the Victory half. This is going to be difficult for the Victory. They only have 30 seconds.
Yeah, and it's kind of telling that... All right, well, Destroyer had to save. Hams basically, as soon as he got the ball, is just going straight down the field. He's trying to get a solo play straight down the field, not looking for those passes where I feel like they would be the most effective. And maybe that's because his teammates aren't open, but that is their problem. That is something they have to figure out. And basically right now, I was going to say soon, but right now, they have 8 seconds to do so. AO on that one. Maybe have a chance here. They have to score right now. Still in that Knights corner. Maybe one. No.
It's not
Ayo
gonna happen.
out to the. Yeah, it's down. It's down. 0 seconds. It's too late. Just couldn't get literally anything going, and the Knights dominate this one and take it.
Yeah, that was so well played by the Knights. They looked dominant from start to finish. Game 1 and 2 was what, a 4 and 5 goal lead. It was just not even close as far as the scoreboard goes, and not even close as far as the gameplay went. The Knights looked so good. I'd be terrified if I was any team coming up against them in future weeks.
Yeah, and Vol Destroyer, we all know what he's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question before the series about what Angel would do, and I had a feeling that, you know, they both have a lot of RLC, like NA 6-man's experience. You know, very tough players, very fast players, and they played that way. They almost had a 2's rotation that Mamba. They almost traded on 2's rotations. You know, Mambo's very involved in the team. I'm not going to say he's the third because he scored about 4 goals, I think, in that first or second game. So they were all, you know, contributing to their wins, all, you know, getting fast to the ball, getting good touches, putting pressure on that other team. And when you can do that, you put the onus on them to have that perfect touch, to get it out of their half, to get it to their teammate. Otherwise, they just can't do anything, and they've been stifled that whole series, which they were. That's what exactly what happened. So congrats to the Knights. I'm excited to see more of your gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. That was so good. Yeah, Mamba being the third pick for the team contributed so much. In that first game, he had 4 goals. He didn't look like a third pick in that game. He played very well, and of course the other 2 were lights out. They was just so dominant. Yeah. I would be terrified to play that team if I were any other team. Gotta look out for the Knights.
And I believe you said the victory, that was actually their first game. The first game that we had in that series, you said that's their first game win-loss of the season out of these 2 weeks that we've had, 3 matches. They just got swept.
Yeah.
They just got swept.
It has been sweeps in every single one of their series, but this is the first one that went against them. So yeah, it's very interesting. I'm very curious to see how they bounce back, because I'm confident they will. But yeah, it's just gonna be. We'll need to see if they can find that rhythm. They need not the rhythm, but they need to find that method to make this team work and to make that rotation work, because they were dominated. They were dominated.
Yeah, well, that is our final series of tonight for Premier League action for the Midwest Championship Series. We will be back with more Rocket League next week on Thursday. Again, we will have 2 more matches for you. Or excuse me, each team will have 2 matches, but we'll have 4 matches total for you to watch, and some great gameplay there. So, of course, thanks to my good friend Klashta for taking the time, you know, very last minute to come in and cast with me, you know, to make sure that we have this match covered, of course, and you know, that we get some good commentary. So always great to have you on the stream. Hope to cast with you more, and we'll see you guys for more Rocket League on Thursday.